Everybody's heard of Chuck D, everybody's heard of Flavor Flav, and you probably heard of a brother by the name of Professor Griff, who is the Minister of Information for Public Enemy, but I like to call him the Minister of Rage. Here's a man who we know how extremely radical Chuck D is. Well, Chuck D had to try to restrain Professor Griff a few times. So you can imagine how Professor Griff must be if Chuck D has to try to restrain him. But it was all good and it was all about love. Many people are aware that Professor Griff has been active in this whole hip-hop movement for a very long time and the political movement for a very long time. The interesting thing is that when folks hear or see Professor Griff, they say, you know, where have you been? What have you been doing? And I like to steal a line from LL Cool J where he said, don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years, and that's exactly Professor Griff. I mean, folks don't know that from 1990 through just recently, he's had many CDs, tapes, albums, just putting stuff out there. So he's been around. Also an author, wrote a book called Music Business. Anybody here wants to know the ins and outs of the hip-hop industry, the business side, you definitely want to hear from Professor Griff. I mean, there's so much I can talk about with Professor Griff, from his group back in the 90s, The Last Asiatic Disciples, his albums and CDs, Pawns in the Game, and The World Became Flesh, Disturbing the Peace. So much, so much, so much. But I'd spend 15, 20 minutes talking about the merits of Professor Griff. And you don't need to hear from me. You want to hear from the man who's here tonight. So without further ado, let's give a strong Hip Hop 101 welcome to Professor Griff.
Greetings. How's everybody today?
All right.
In the divine names of the Supreme Being, wherever you are in your spiritual growth, I want to come in their names, whatever you call them. Some call them Allah, some call them Jah, Ptah, Ra. Whatever you call them, that's the spirit I want to pull down, and the spirit I want to deliver this talk tonight in. I can't come before you singing the Star Spangled Banner and put my hand on my heart and cry crocodile tears. I can't do that. I can't come to you as a so-called African American. I'm coming to you as a revolutionary. I'm coming to you as a black man. If you have problems with that, you got to take that up to God that you serve. All right, I'm secure with the one I serve. I definitely want to thank Brother Michael Core for extending the invitation to have me. I didn't know all the madness was going to go on. I kind of figured this is Temple University, a school of higher learning. And why should anyone feel threatened? I'm only 5'5", 147 pounds. Why should anyone feel threatened, man, that someone's coming to offer a different point of view? And talking about a lecture, a subject that, you know, I didn't get from a bumper or a t-shirt. You know, I live hip-hop. There since the very essence of hip-hop, from the beginning, and still there. So for me to come to the campus and say a few words, they cut the time down from 2.5 hours, I guess, to about an hour. So all that and plus we're having some technical difficulties. So all that I have prepared to say to you, we're just going to skip through some things, go through some things, lay out some points, and get some feedback from you. Any opportunity that we get to come together, we should come together and have constructive conversation, regardless of what your complexion is or your race is or your religion. So I want to thank Michael, and I want to thank Born Free. I don't think he's here, him and Wise Intelligent. And definitely I want to thank, man, could you please stand and give this sister a round of applause? We're going to talk a little bit later on, but she's going to help me pay my cell phone bill. This sister be calling me up, but it's a good thing. That shows somebody cares, for real. I'd rather get an expensive phone bill as opposed to getting nothing at all from anyone. And I'm gonna be honest with you, doing the work that we do is not a popular thing. This ain't no American tale, and it's not gonna end like this American story where we're gonna live happily ever after. It just doesn't happen that way. You stand up and you tell the truth in America, they plot to kill you.
That's right.
And if you don't agree with that, just look back in the history of America. Anyone that ever spoke out, be they white or black, America's plotted on their life and taking some of them out of here, right or wrong. So we need to know and understand that. A couple of more people I need to thank. I definitely got to do this. Sabrina, who's not here, the sister that put me in contact with Pam, and the students, the faculty. And, you know, this would be nothing without y'all. So give yourselves a round of applause for even taking the time to come here. Now, I know you heard a lot about Griff. I bumped into a lot of y'all out there and spoke to a lot of you. A couple of y'all didn't even speak back, but it's cool. Because see, you was looking for the guy with the horns, because you thought I was this mean-looking, big buff guy coming to just talk about white people. And so, that's not me at all. I don't know, I think I'm a very jovial person for the people that know me personally. I'm a very sociable person, but I'm laying the groundwork for some of the things that you might hear, because you're not going to agree with everything. I'm pretty sure for the next hour, some of you are going to leave here mad. Some of you might want to, you can take my phone number because I can give it to you, it's not a problem. If you got any problems, you ain't got to go tell the man or the beast, writing hate mail and that kind of thing, cursing me out under your breath. Just call me, we can talk about it. All right? Last university I spoke at Oglethorpe University. I asked for $2,500 honorarium. They said no. I said, okay, if I'm going to speak for 2 hours, Hip Hop 101, at least give me a letter of recommendation. They said, fine. After the 2.5 hours, I'm still waiting for the letter of recommendation. Some students went back to the administrators and said, that guy is just purely racist. And we're going to get into that tonight. The subject I want to deal with in the context of Hip Hop 101, let me stop right here. I want to thank my friends that came with me. Vince, who's on the camera back there, he said he got my back in case anything go wrong. Getting my back only means basically he's going to take the camera and swing it around and get everybody's face in case you try something man, you on film. Alright? Because anytime we meet like this, we know there's some agents out there. But I'm telling you, I gave you my phone number, so you ain't got to go take it back to the beast. You ain't got to take it back to the FBI and the rest of them. Alright? Matter of fact, the brother's filming it. You can get the tape from you. What's your name, bro? No. We got you. Noah. So if you want to take it back and go over it with a fine-tooth comb, see that brother right there? He has some of my DVDs on the table out there, and plus I have some up there for sale. So if you want to go over this with a fine-tooth comb, put it under the microscope, be my guest. But I want to deal with the psychological covert war against hip-hop. In the context of Hip Hop 101, we need to deal with the politics of hip-hop and the pacification process of the powers that be that actually control hip-hop. Alright? Like Michael Kors said, if you think hip-hop is in the hands of the people that originated hip-hop, think again, because you're thinking wrong. Alright? It's been co-opted, it's controlled by someone else. So I have to deal with the destruction of hip-hop, which leads to a void, which is the culture crisis. Alright, I'm going to attempt to go through some of the slides if I can dig them up real quick. But Frederick Douglass said power concedes nothing without a demand. I feel sorry for the Hip Hop Action Network because they're not making any serious demands. They're making demands on the people that have been depleted and a culture being snatched from us. Your culture meaning your way of life. If hip hop came out of the bowels of the black man and woman in the Bronx, New York, and we developed it as a culture. Your culture is everything you think, you do, how you walk, how you talk, how you interact with the universe and each other. All right? Keep that in mind. This culture has been taken away from us. I had battles with KRS-One because I never called hip-hop a culture. I always called hip-hop a subculture. All right? Because when you have a culture, your culture is supposed to speak to a wide variety of things. So if your culture is supposed to speak to a wide variety of things, how come the hip-hop culture doesn't speak to who our enemy is and how we define our enemy? All right? So we need to do that tonight. Every great philosopher taught, know thyself. And I think we need to do that before we move any further. If you don't know you, you can't know anyone else. I think the scripture says, love thy neighbor. But love thy neighbor is predicated on loving thyself. Can't love anyone unless you love self. So how can you be so damn hypocritical to say you love hip-hop but you hate black people? Come on, talk to me. You can't love hip-hop unless you love that which hip-hop came from. So you hate black people but you love hip-hop. All right? Which is sad. So we need to speak to the Vanilla Ices and the Elvis Presleys and the Eminems of the world who love black culture. And I think you spoke of Kenny G, who love black, Lisa Stansfield and the rest of them. Who love black culture and want to use black culture. But you see, to them, they may be unaware of these things. But we want to tap them on the shoulder tonight, all right? There's a few things I want to read to you, but we have to define politics and get a working fundamental definition of what politics means. Can someone be so kind as to tell me what politics means without giving a speech? See, we have to throw this out here as a taste test, simply because I don't want you to think that I want to come and force my views down your throat. I want to get some feedback from you.
Ollie, meaning many, and ticks meaning bloodsuckers.
Okay, bloodsuckers. Anybody else?
Polite,
Many bloodsuckers.
polite ticks.
Okay, yes sir.
Politics are power and control over resources.
I can deal with that. Can we just say, using all three definitions, politics is the science of governing people. All right? So roll your mind back to the politics of your friend, Mr. George Bush. So if politics is the science of governing people, how are we being governed? Is the government doing a good job? Come on, talk to me. If the government was doing a good job, there would be no need for us to be meeting here discussing why hip-hop is in the wretched condition that it's in when we try to organize the hip-hoppers that age range from 18 to 35 and galvanize them into voting blocks so we can see, we can vote the president in that we want to vote in. Are you following me?
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be no need for that. So moving right along. He mentioned the fact that I'm from a group, Public Enemy, was there from the outstart, from the very inception. All right? And I want to say this. Tonight, I wanted to speak on the Flavor Flav issue. I don't think we're going to have time. I had some slides that would have showed you everything I wanted to say. But for all practical purposes, we have to speak on it. I mean, other than the fact that I think it's some high-tech buffoonery, other than the fact that I think it's some, 2006 picking electronic cotton that he's doing on UPN and the rest of them stations that he's on. UPN meaning United Plantation of Niggas.
Yeah.
And that's what I personally feel. I have to have a position. Because a lot of times when you see Flavor Flav, sister, how old are you? She's 16 years old. She probably knows nothing about Public Enemy. Her first introduction to Public Enemy is probably through watching Flavor Flav on TV. Now I got to come back behind that madness and let the sister know, no, we had a long legacy of educating people and raising the conscious level of people. That's not what Public Enemy has to offer. That's not all. But we have to look at it in duality. I think they called it, and they said about, they called it binary, whatever that means. But anyway, Flavor Flav was that one that drew people that wouldn't even listen to me and Chuck. He drew those people to Public Enemy, which was a beautiful thing. Because once they were drawn to Public Enemy, me and Chuck would hit them with the left-right combination. You understand what I'm saying? Which was a beautiful thing. Seeing Flavor Flav outside of the context of what Public Enemy is some high-tech buffoonery. Because you kind of figure with the platform that Flavor Flav has now, he could have said one positive thing to uplift the hearts and minds of our people, right or wrong.
That's right.
So no, I don't. That was about a 2 on the applause meter, but I don't really need the applause. I need y'all to think. You understand what I'm saying? Because I'm noticing this, that there's a young white cadre, how you doing, bro? Of young white people in America and throughout the world that are coming up, and they don't think like their parents. Do you understand what I'm saying? Even when no black people came to Public Enemy's concert, they was there doing this. They probably didn't know what it meant. Do you understand what I'm saying? But they were there. They took away from the concert and from the records, from the CDs, what they could take away from it. I'm going to explain that tonight, because no insult to white people, all right? And brothers and sisters, if you sit next to a white person, just kind of nudge them a little bit and help them through this part right here. See, this is where we start to go. To the left. Let me see if there's some chalk. Listen, no offense, and please don't get me wrong, but there are some concepts that we have to hip you to, that a lot of the rappers today are just not going to do. And don't get insulted. Just say, okay, that's just something I didn't know, and Griff taught me. As Michael Kors stated earlier. That doesn't stand for Superman, but there was gods that roamed the earth. All right? Those Greeks that came in and sat at the feet of the Africans in ancient Kemet and learned and took away those valuable lessons, those universal principles, and went back and took our name off it and put their name off it, came back to ancient Kemet and destroyed us as a people. Know and understand this concept right here. Operating in the spiritual plane, on a spiritual plane. Bringing all of that on the spiritual plane down, calling it art. All right? From art, now you actually can operate on a physical plane. Now, that may sound very simple and very easy. All right? But here's where the hard part comes in. In order for you to do that, you have to have 7.5 ounces of brain cells. In order to have 7.5 ounces of brain cells, you have to have a high concentration of melanin to do this. And it's sad to say that a lot of white people cannot go to the spiritual realm and bring this down into an art form on a physical plane. You cannot do it. That is why every time black people come up with anything, we pull it down, and we constantly pull it down. We can pull it down at will. All right? We bring it into an art form in which you can understand, because this is the plane that you operate on. All right? We put it in a physical form so you can deal with it. Now, there's a lot of things that we pull down when we want to. That is why Elijah Muhammad said, Master Farad Muhammad and the other scientists knew that the devil was going to be made and put on our planet, and he was going to create havoc on the planet. So what we did was we hid certain cities. Some people are still looking for hidden cities like Atlantis. We knew the devil was coming on the planet because he was supposed to have dominion over the planet. And I know you'll say, well, what the hell has this got to do with hip-hop? This is where we pulled hip-hop from. We didn't call it hip-hop. Michael Kors said it earlier. We can call it what we want to call it. We've always danced as a people. We've always had hieroglyphs, writings. Are you following me? Yeah. So now people like Eminem have to wait until we pull it down, pull it in an art form, and then they imitate it. Now in 2006, there's some people, those same young white entrepreneurs, in a book called The First Millennium Edition of Certified Uncle Toms. On page 236, it teaches us young whites came in and niggerized hip-hop. Come on, think about it. Public Enemy was riding high, raising the conscious level of our people, not only black people, but we had gone past educating black people, and other people around the globe was embracing Public Enemy. So the government seen this and said, okay, the attack came. First the psychological war came. Then the physical attack came. Brothers like myself being poisoned. Brothers like myself being plucked out of Public Enemy, and Public Enemy from that point on went downhill. You didn't see it because you was probably caught up in it. I seen it from the outside looking in because I was on the inside looking out. Are you following me? So I seen how they came in to destroy Public Enemy. And then they ushered in this thing called gangster rap with NWA. So now you see the brothers from NWA, they use that as a format and a template. And then every rap group after that imitated NWA. Are you following me? They use that as the template to help destroy conscious hip-hop. Now you don't hear anything from any conscious artist. Not Immortal Technique or anyone. You have to search to find these brothers. Are you following me? No, seriously, are you following me? No, I need to know that. Because you see, this may sound like an insult to people, but you see, tomorrow we can change the frequency and call it what we want to call it. All right? So now, let's get to some of the slides so I can show you this. Some of them in color, but a lot of them in black and white. So let's get to the slides so I can show it to you in black and white. All right? Can we do that? Can someone hit the lights? It's going to take me a minute to go through some of these slides, so I hope y'all bear with me. If we run out of time and the administrators shut us down, we just have to go out on the sidewalk and finish the lecture. Very true. No, I'm not playing. I'm dead serious. This lecture is actually 3.5 hours. We got about 35 minutes. But throw your mind back to the early days of hip hop. We didn't have this auditorium with all this new technology, right?
That's right.
We didn't have the money to take dance classes and violin classes and all this madness. We said no. We went, took a screwdriver, we went to the park, opened up the bottom of the light post, plugged the turntables in, right? Hooked up the speakers, took the box cutter, went to the supermarket, got some boxes, cut them open, laid them out, and we danced. Took the garbage cans, turned them over, and beat on the garbage cans. You understand what I'm saying? Desperate times call for desperate measures. We had to express ourselves, right or wrong. See, we wasn't as fortunate as some of the people in here. Notice I didn't say white people. Some brothers in here grew up with a silver spoon in their mouth too. That's why you need to be in Hip Hop 101 to get this lesson, so we can bring you black. All right, let's do it. No, some of them need to be brought black. If you learn nothing else tonight, please go home with this, all right? This is a symbol. We used to write in symbols, all right? Even when we didn't even speak a language, we communicated here, all right? Black people, we used to astroplane. We used to visit other planets and communicate without even talking, all right? You're standing in the present. You're moving forward. But in order for you to move forward, you have to look back into the past. Teaching you that you can do nothing without your history. History is best qualified and most attractive to reward all our research. If you know what was, you know what is, and you know what's to come. All right? This is only for the men in the audience. When the war horn sounds, you know the war is on. There's no more talking. All right? And we don't want you punking out once the war horn sounds. And the war horn, Michael Kors sounded it tonight. Hip hop is under attack. Where are the real men? All right? Now I want to say something. Now the young people, the young women in the audience, and the women are watching us, brothers. And they tired of us punking out. Are you following me? So when the war horn sounds, I don't want to hear Jack Bones just move out of the way. We got to take care of some business. Alright? I don't know if you know anything about the Akashic Records, but the Akashic Records is that electromagnetic field that surrounds the earth. Everything that went on the earth, in history, everything that is going on the earth, and everything that will go on the earth is recorded in the Akashic Records. This is the spiritual realm in which we pull our information down from. This is the God plane that we operate on. We pull it down from the Akashic record. You may know it as your aura. Alright? Okay, as above, so below. As within, so without. Move forward. Everyone in the room has 7 chakras. They're called the 7 wheels of light. Alright? Now listen, this is what Michael Kors talked about earlier when he talked about he doesn't like songs from people like D4L and Laffy Taffy and the rest of this madness. Real quick, because we don't have time tonight to get into it in depth. In order for you to raise your vibration high enough to operate at the crown chakra, which is the top chakra, all right, you have to raise your vibration through your vertebrae to activate that pineal gland, which is at the crown chakra. Are you following me? Yeah. Okay, so now when you hear low vibrating tones and low vibrating songs with words like Laffy Taffy, it hits you at the orange and the red chakra. Once it hits you at that chakra, that fire goes up the vertebrae and hits your pituitary gland. The pituitary gland releases a hormone which causes you to do all that madness that you're doing on the dance floor. Are you following me? So this is no accident that the people that usher in the psychological covert war on hip-hop, they know this science. That's why these songs hitting you at the lower chakras. Are you following me? Now these chakras spin. Unfortunately, some spin faster than others. Alright? So what we're going to try to do tonight is raise your vibration. Showing you the vertebrae, the rock goes up the vertebrae and it taps into your pituitary gland. When you change, this is from Black Dot, which I have his book on the back table. It says when you change the intent of something, you change the vibration and the frequency of it. Alright? You know, if you're listening to one radio station and you're tired of that radio station, you want to listen to another one, all you have to do is turn it down, changing the frequency. Are you following me? Everyone in this room has a frequency. Alright? And they tapped in on black people's frequency. Every word you speak has a vibrating frequency to it. Alright? Some words can get you excited. Some words can make you cry. Some words can get you that date that you've been looking for. You understand what I'm saying? Let's move forward. This is the melanin that I talked about earlier. The soul, the brain outside of your body. Black people, we process rays from the sun a lot different than any other people because we have a higher concentration of melanin. I can't get into it extremely deep tonight, but I have to lay this base to get you to understand why we're hearing some of the songs that we're hearing today. Alright? Let's move forward. We're going to skip a lot of this because I need to get right to the point. Sound frequencies for healing. Black people, we used to use the sound frequencies in the drum, which is the heartbeat to everything. Not only sound frequencies in the drum and the voice as healing. Alright, as you see on the chart right there, every frequency has a letter and every frequency has a color. Alright, I'm sure you've heard this person is green with envy. Alright, and a lot of this has to do with your chakras because your chakras are constantly spinning. We don't have time to break it down. We got to get right to the point. Alright, a lot of this is a deep science I wouldn't get into, but we don't have time. This is very important. I think I need to stop here. All the brothers in the audience. Dr. Mona Harris said, how you think affects your DNA. At the time of conception, the thoughts of the parents affect the way the child looks. You ever see a couple and they have a little baby and the baby looks nothing like either one of them? Be careful what you thinking of, brother. Alright? Of course, the Medical Association stole, they call it the caduceus, but they stole that sacred wisdom and that sacred science from black people. Alright? As you see the serpentine fire crawling up the staff, which is actually trying to crawl up the staff to activate the pineal gland, which is in the crown chakra. Alright? Giving you wings. Let's move forward. This gentleman right here, I got this off the internet, the gentleman is actually creating a software where he can actually move his hand and create music. Showing the correlation between body movement. This goes back into what Mr. Core said earlier about breakdancing. We've always breakdanced. Alright? We've always had a language, nonverbal communication. Let's move forward. You gotta bear with me because I have to change the, I have to go to another segment of the slides. I wanted to drop this right here real quick on reverse speech. A lot of what you hear George Bush saying physically with your two physical ears, alright, you might want to look this up in certain things. It's called reverse speech. He's actually speaking another language to a whole other group of people. Alright, you need to know this. He's operating on a totally different frequency than we are. Alright? Let's move forward. I need to explain this and then we're gonna change gears here. We need to know this and pass this on to some of the rappers because a lot of rappers feel that the end justifies the means. It doesn't matter what they do in life, long as they get paid. Alright? That's why you hear the low frequency stuff in the songs. The rims spinning, the acquisition of wealth, disrobing women, and that kind of thing. You know those themes that you hear in the videos, right? Okay. Well, anyway, real quick. This gentleman here passed on into the spiritual realm. This is the Hall of Justice. This is where the criminal justice system gets their justice system from. You see the jurors up top? You see the judge that sits on the throne. This is the sacred science that they stole from ancient Kemet. So he's coming into the hall of justice, the hall of Ma'at. All right? This is the scale of justice. So this gentleman's heart is measured in the cup against the feather of Ma'at. Truth, balance, justice, and reciprocity. All right? Intellect is not measured by how much you know here, it's how light your heart is. Because in the last day, your heart is going to be measured against the feather of Ma'at. Are you following me? This gentleman died and is passed on into the spiritual realm. The deity here is called the devourer. If you do not pass this test, your soul goes to hell, as they say, and this devourer eats your soul, devours your soul. Throughout your entire life, everything you think, all of your actions are being recorded by this deity here, called Tahuti. Thought, where white world, racist white supremacy gets the word thought from. And this is where they get the concept of the pen. You see his nose is shaped like a pen. Alright? Every deed, everything you think is being written down rather. Alright? So when your soul is delivered on the last day and your deeds are read to you, those things that you thought is being read to you. So he passes through the hall, and now he's brought before the Lord in the last day. Now he has to kneel before the Lord. Are you following me? This is where white people get the whole concept of heaven and hell. This is where they get the judicial system from. Can you see it? You got this? So tomorrow when you go to work, when you go back to class, we need to have this kind of constructive conversation. Are you following me? Are you sure? All right, let's move on. I know we only got a few minutes. All right. Hold on one second. Bear with me. Talk about the conditions that caused the birth of hip-hop. What was going on late 60s, early 70s? Can you roll your mind back to think of all the things that was going on? Let's just run down a quick list of the things that were going on. The Black Panthers' ranks were decimated right along. J. Edgar Hoover and his COINTELPRO had actually disseminated the ranks of not only the Black Panther Party, but who else? Nation of Islam, and who else?
New African Republic.
That's right, that brother's on it, wherever he is. Let's give him a black hand, wherever he's at. Malcolm X was assassinated. Dr. King was assassinated. The civil rights organizations was brought to their knees with Asian provocateurs that filled the ranks, snitching. And can we deal with that for a minute? This stop snitching thing, can we talk about that for a second? Where's my bag here? Hold on one second. Just real quick. How many people seen it on the cover of USA Today? I think I have the article with me, I do. Well, it was on the cover of, I think, Wednesday's USA Today. Stop snitching. It says anti-snitch campaign riles police and prosecutors. Alright? Is it grassroots backlash against criminals turned informants or intimidation? Now I'm going to tell y'all straight up, and I'm going to be very real. Alright? I see the brothers with the stop snitching t-shirt on, and in my mind I'm saying this, because it has twofold. Are you saying, by wearing the t-shirt, brother, you in the hood slinging packages on the corner, alright, where my grandmother got to walk down the street in order to get home? Are you saying my grandmother shouldn't come call the police on you because you're selling drugs and she may get caught up in the crossfire? Are you saying that? And we should just allow you to sell drugs because you selling drugs on a corner affects all of us, right or wrong? Right. Okay, are you saying that, brother? Or are you saying you in the audience right now and you're going to take this information back to the FBI and drop dime on Professor Griff, where somebody got to tell you stop snitching? Are you saying that? Are you saying, brother, that on a slavery plantation with Harriet Tubman, that she wanted to take a lot of us to the north in the Underground Railroad so we can get free? and you like a handkerchief head, bootlicking Negro, you want to stay on the plantation because you think it's nice and master's giving you everything that you ever desired in life? Because we want to be free, you want to go back and be on the plantation? That's fine, but stop snitching. Are you following me?
Yes.
No, seriously, are you following me? Yes. So this stop snitching thing is not cool if you're going to be in the hood slinging packages on the corner and you're going to tell people stop snitching, or you in the trap, which they call it in Atlanta. I don't know if they call what they call it here in Philly. But if you in the trap slinging packages, all right, and you telling the brothers and sisters stop snitching, and if they don't, you do X, Y, and Z to them. I seen me and Vince was walking through the gallery downtown. They got a new T-shirt. They got a big hand that says stop telling. But I'm saying this, that if you're going to tell, why don't you tell them this? That all we desire is freedom, justice, and equality. All we desire is the 40 acres and a mule that you promised our grandparents, parents. All right? Are you following me? Let's move forward. So the stop snitching thing has a duality to it. Let's move forward. Let's do it like this here. We affectionately call this book the Code. All right? If you do not understand racism, white supremacy, everything else you'll attempt to understand will only confuse you. That is the paradigm and the context in which we're giving this thing tonight. Hip Hop 101. All right? If you do not understand racism, white supremacy, everything else you'll attempt to understand will only confuse you. So says Neely Fuller in the Code. All right? We're not going to deal with this because you might not be able to grasp that just yet. So we got to grow to that. Alright? We have to leave here with a working definition of racism. Alright? Racism, white supremacy is a local and global power system and dynamic, structured and maintained by people who call themselves, hold on, I don't want you to miss it, you know, back up. White, whether consciously and subconsciously determined, which consists of patterns of perception, logic, symbol formation, thought, speech, action, and emotional response, as conducted simultaneously in all areas of people activity: economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war, for the ultimate purpose of white genetic survival and to prevent white genetic annihilation on the planet Earth. White people only constitute 1/10 of the people on the planet Earth versus the 9/10. They have to devise a plan in order to subdue the 9/10. Are you following me? Are you following me? Where is that genetic material that can cause white genetic annihilation? By a show of hands, where is it at? Said it's in the melanin. Where else? In the testicles. You're absolutely right. Give that brother a hand. Get an A on that one. The genetic material that can cause white genetic annihilation lies in the testicles of the black man. That was where the attack is going to take place. Sisters, you pose no threat to white world supremacy. I'm going to say that again. And I always have an argument with this with the sisters. You pose no threat. This is why you can work in the office building and the offices right next to white people, because you pose no threat to them. It's the black man. This is why we're having a hard time in hip-hop. This is why they had to take hip-hop and redirect hip-hop. Hip-hop was something proud to be a part of because it spoke to the ills that affected us in the hood. Are you following me? Chuck D said what? Hip-hop was the CNN for the black community. So hip-hop spoke to everything that we needed it to speak to because it was a revolutionary music. All right? With a revolutionary vibe and a revolutionary tone to it. What is it now? It's thugging and calling women out their name, part of the 4 fundamentals of hip-hop that Mr. Core broke down earlier. No. Whence came the thugging and the pimping and all this other madness, which I have to disagree with Michael Eric Dyson, who said pimping or pimp, P-I-M-P, stands for positive individuals making progress. And I'm like, come on, Mike. Mike. I can't agree with that. No, that's not making progress. So I want to ask Michael Eric Dyson, how about if we pimped your mother? Would it still have the same definition? No, I'm serious. But he's a paid Negro, that's all. It ain't changed. It ain't changed. We still got some Uncle Tom and Uncle Thomasina's right on the campus that we have to deal with. But we're going to sound the war horn in a minute. Everybody got this from Dr. Francis Cress Wilson?
Yes, sir.
Let's move on. Wait a minute now. I'm not from a group public friend.
All right.
I'm from public enemy. Seriously. It ain't going to be nice to be in a few minutes. Seriously. We don't have to go over this, but I do need to ask a question. In 1712, your man, Mr. Willie Lynch, gave the Willie Lynch letter and the foolproof plan that would keep us slaves for 300 years. When is the 300 years up, brothers? Quick math. And 300 years, get back together. Are you following me? Call it what it is. If you see it, say that's some Willie Lynch mess, I'm not dealing with it. Let's push on. And with the madness that's going on in hip-hop today, it's some Willie Lynch mess. Some high-tech crabs in the barrel. Culture. What is your culture? Culture is that transportation that we would need to take us old to the new, right? It's called your culture. Culture should define your enemy. Culture should define, yeah, that light kind of threw me off. I wasn't ready for that vibration. All right, culture should define all of these things, all right? We have to stop signing our culture away. All right? Let me give you the proof of that. How did Eminem get put on? Dre. Doctor, you can say it. He ain't here. Unless y'all scared. Dre put Eminem on, right? And we constantly co-sign for these people to come in, as Dale Jones teaches us in the book Culture Bandits. All right? Culture Bandits 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, so he laid it out. Let's move on. Yeah, this is true. Jesus is black. Ronald Reagan is the devil. The government is lies about now. But why did it take my man on Boondocks to say it? All right, this is you. Wrote in 84, the King Alpha plan. You're useless eaters. And those white people in the audience that want to side with black people and you love hip-hop, we don't mind inviting you into the culture, just respect it. I'm going to say that again in English. Don't worry about the applause. Seriously. We invite other people into our culture. All right? Let me give you the taste test. How many people invite people to their homes? Do you let people go to every damn room in the home? No. Hell no. You assign certain rooms, right or wrong. You go to the bathroom and the living room. Sit your behind down, right here. Don't go to the bedroom and all this other madness, right or wrong. So we don't mind other people coming into the culture. You just can't go everywhere. So we relegated you to just music, right? Do the 4 elements. Stick with the 4 elements. Everything else, leave that up to us. It's up to us to change the vibration of hip-hop. Like I said, we can change it tomorrow and call it something else. We don't necessarily have to call it hip-hop. All right? And you have no other choice, white people, but to follow suit. Because you can't create it on your own. It's not an insult, it's just the truth. Now, there's this thing that white people have called melanin glasses. And they take melanin shots. And they putting melanin in their lips, and they got melanin booty now, and all kind of madness. You see them on TV. Don't play like you don't see them. Some of the brothers are chasing after them. Let's move forward. Not on this campus, though, right? Brought to you by the There was a letter written to President Bush. Ended up putting it here by the hip hop some in action, and this is how he responded. We can't go over the letter, but in the letter, Russell Simmons and Benjamin Chambers kind of laid it out. They laid out the agenda, all right, and Bush wasn't going for it, so let's move forward. I don't want to call Bob Johnson a sellout. I think Bob Johnson is a great man, but Bob Johnson is doing what Bob Johnson has to do to survive. But damn, Bob, does it take $1 billion for you to survive? You're one of the ones we have to bring to the table of accountability.
Yes, yes.
I'm going to say that again in English. We're going to set up a table, tablecloth and all. And we're going to bring some of these rappers and the people that's responsible of dumbing hip-hop down. And we have to bring them to the table of accountability and hold them accountable for the shape that hip-hop is in today. And Bob Johnson is one of them.
That's right.
All right? I don't know if you'll watch BET late at night. You see some of that madness? I mean, it's ridiculous. No redeeming value at all. Russell Simmons is another one we have to bring to the table of accountability.
Damn
Are you
right.
following me?
Yes.
These people are faking. These people are billionaires. Faking. So the slogan "Vote or Die" man faded into obscurity, but hip-hop political movement didn't perish with it. Please. You galvanized the 18 to 35 demographic, right? And you registered them to vote, but you didn't educate them on who to vote for. And then what did they do with the registration cards, brothers and sisters? There's a new draft that's coming, and I'm sure you're aware.
Yes.
Where do they get the names for the draft? From the voter registration cards, Puffy. Are you following me?
Yes.
But you gotta understand the process, Puffy. Where's the camera at? Can you get this to Puffy? Because we need to speak right to Puffy, for real. Talk about vote or die. That is madness. How are you gonna give a young person these two options? You either vote or you die, but vote for who? Did any of the candidates come to the hood and speak to us? Not at all. So vote for who? What's Puffy's real agenda in 2008? Talking about vote or die. So, he joined Busta Rhymes on the song Pastor Cavassier. And they're talking about put your hands where my eyes can see at a rally. And this is the rally that Puffy's speaking to the youth. Talking about it's not all about the Benjamin. But you sold the t-shirt on your website for $35 damn dollars. What is his agenda? See, these are the gatekeepers that we have to bring to the table of accountability. Alright? This is your man Puffy on the dance floor, making secret deals, and this don't involve you. This ain't got nothing to do with you if you're in the audience 16, 18 years old. They taking those votes right to Washington so they can carry favor with Bush and his henchmen. So he's making a deal on the dance floor. Now, Michael Kors, I love you, brother, and we cool, but I ain't never gonna be this damn close to you. Are you following me? For no damn reason. We just ain't getting this close, bro. For real. I see how cute you look, man. We ain't getting this close. And we damn sure ain't getting this close. Come on, man. Y'all gotta talk to me. What kind of damn deal is Puffy making here? Well, he's taking your votes to the White House. Now, anyone in the audience feel kind of bothered by this picture, you can see me later on and try to excuse and explain this away. We ain't telling Puffy what to do with his private, with his personal time. And we ain't telling him which way to swing. But stop influencing our young people to vote or die, brother. Seriously. We have more choices than that.
That's right.
I'm sure you're familiar with these three characters. But you gotta understand white world racist white supremacy. They always have to have an idol. And in this case, it's an American idol. Alright? Let's deal with some metaphysics, alright? Let's deal with esoteric and exoteric. For those people in the audience that are Christians and you still waiting on a white Jesus to come from somewhere and save you, good, that's cool. That's exoteric, the outer. Alright? If you're past that into a deeper science and you're dealing with the esoteric, then you save your damn self. Are you following me? So we have to look inside of our soul and bring that out. What is the definition of education? Education coming up out of the Latin root, educo, meaning to draw out of. Are you following me? Everything that you need as a human being to develop is already deposited in you. All you need is a curriculum to bring it out of you. That's all. Are you following me?
Okay.
So back to this American Idol. They always have to set up an idol. Alright? Puffy is one of those idols. So rather than trying to control the masses of the people who are going to be very angry in a minute, both black and white people and everybody in between, because we're not going to keep going for this madness from the White House, they have to give you an idol. Someone for you to worship. Someone for you to follow. Puffy was that man. Kanye West was being groomed as that man until he broke from the script.
Yes.
Are you following me? Here is that idol that they're giving you. We're not going to get into the fact that he called black women out of their names. And brothers, you did nothing about it. And you knew about it. Should I say that again? See, I'm going to tell you, brothers, and I'm just speaking to the brothers, the men right now. There's going to come a time where your woman going to look you in the face and straight up call you a punk, dude. Because women are tired of seeing black men cowering down to the madness, man, that we cowering down to, and the stuff that we're letting go by. I'm going to tell you straight up, and I don't give a damn how you take it. If it was left up to me, I'd go knocking on R. Kelly's door. Can I talk to you for a second, dude? I might not do that. But while we're on that point, you see what the word does? This is not our language, but we have to interpret it for the little ones. All right, that hear this every day.
Yes.
Fornication under the consent of king. This is what the origin of this word. That if me and you was to get married, sister, and you know this was the king, he'd have to have sex with you before I married you. Hence the term fucking you. And this is what Bush is doing every day. Fornication under the consent of king. And this is what we do subconsciously. We turn our minds over to people that don't have our best interests at heart. And we think that the government is going to take care of us. I.e. Hurricane Katrina.
Come on.
You're on the rap songs day and night, calling yourself bitches, niggas, and hoes. The world is looking at you doing this. So then now when you're on a damn bridge for a week with no damn food and water, the world is saying, why would I send food and help to bitches, niggas, and hoes? People that are subhuman. They call themselves dogs. So what did the lady from New Zealand do that owned the dog company, the dog food company? She sent 42 tons of dog food to the brothers and sisters in Kenya that was starving. Because they look at us like animals. We have to raise our vibration level so everyone in the world can respect us, seriously. We have to check some of these rappers. That's where it starts. We got to get our culture back. We don't mind having other people, white people and other people come participate in the culture. Just respect it, that's all. Are you following me? So they're not going to send food and help to people that call themselves these things? Okay. I'm sure you heard them. In 15 minutes, they shut us down. They shut us down. So we're going to move upstairs so we can finish this. All right?
Like always.
All right.
All right.
Let's get a brother. I'm glad you made that point because revolution is not an event. Just because you came here tonight, you got Hip Hop 101, that don't make you an authority on it. All right, we don't want you to leave here acting crazy. Revolution is not an event; it's a process. We have to work with our people. All right. Now, some of us may go Pan African's route and fuck them up. Some of us may want to go the other route. All right. So let's move forward. Notice they're not going to let any of their idols die until they find another American idol. they found an idol in Eminem, as I said before. Or, your friend, no, you say that he's the first black president, right or wrong? That's what you said. Because he smoked weed, he got a joint sucked in the White House, and he played the saxophone. Isn't this what you said? If you didn't say it, you thought it. Yes, you did.
He's on the Harley
Now he's an undercover brother up in Harlem. They were grooming Kanye West as the class act. You just not no average everyday person making the cover of Time magazine. Are you following me? Hip hop class act defying the rules of hip hop. Kanye West goes his own way. Why he's the smartest man in pop music. Alright? I'm going to show you the descent he did. It started out as hip hop, then it moved to rap, and now we're talking pop. You see how they weaken your melody? Are you following me? You see how I showed you earlier, we operated in the spiritual realm, and we brought it down to a level in which they can understand. Now they understand it on the pop level. So now they weaken it by fusing it with all the other kinds of music. In a minute, you're going to turn around and they're going to write Professor Griff and Public Enemy right on out of hip-hop history. So Kanye West made the Freudian slip and said, George Bush don't care about black people. That's nothing new, Kanye West. You just now discovering that? He broke from the script, though. We love the brother, and we should support the brother. But we have to bring Kanye West to the table of accountability, because now he's in bed with those other people, and he has a jewelry line coming out. And our people, once again, are catching the wrong enemy. Kanye West said in this article in Rolling Stone, if I can't, I think the quote was, how am I going to be great if I can't represent myself as being great? You want me to say I'm great, but you don't want me to be great. So he portrayed himself as Jesus. He portrayed himself as Muhammad Ali in the article. And they jumped all over him. We can't talk about Dave Chappelle, that's off the subject. But while we're on the subject of Dave Chappelle was one of those ones that unplugged from the matrix. And he said, no, they're not going to control me. I'm going to do this my way. We don't say nothing to the owners of IBM and Microsoft and all these other people when they want to take a vacation. Dave got the $50 million and said, hell with it, I'm going to take a vacation for a year. He can do that, right or wrong. Because we're getting tired of being used as slaves and tools for racism and white supremacy. Alright? Alright. This may blow your mind, but hold on to your seats. Those same 14 songs that you hear every day on the radio, programmed by your girl here, Mary Catherine Sneed, who looks like this. See, that should have been a 10 on the applaud meter. These songs that you doing all this madness on the dance floor, who got your children singing Laffy Taffy and to the window, to the wall, is programmed by none other than Mary Catherine Sneed. She hid behind that name, MC Sneed, for a long time, and you thought it was a brother. Don't it sound like a brother? But no, it's a 50-year-old white woman programming these songs. But I know you're saying in your mind, what's wrong with that, Griff? We're progressive. We've come a long way. There's something very wrong with that. I think we're running out about 15 minutes time frame. But this is the last point until we go to the upper room. There's something very wrong with this. Because first of all, you have to have black people's interest at heart. Alright? Sadly enough, the black family has been broken up. I'm sure you've heard. Right? So now the babysitter is BET and MTV. Alright? So the mom who had a hard day at work is putting the child in the baby seat or strapping them in the back seat. He's turning on 107.9 in Atlanta. And guess what they're playing on 107.9? Come on, talk to me. The same old madness. All right? Only thing I'm saying at Temple University tonight is why can't we balance it out? If you're going to play what's the gentleman's name? Young Jeezy. Why can't we play Common? What's wrong with that? Why can't we play Roots or Lauryn Hill? Or why can't we just dig in the crates, man, and bring some of the old stuff back? You understand what I'm saying? But y'all need to understand something dealing with the Akashic Records and the chakra, and I'm going to leave you with this point. It was a different frequency when we put music on black wax and we cut it up. The frequency that came off the wax was totally different than coming off the digital CD. All right, it hit the chakras different. So when we cut the wax back and forth in the projects, and it resonated off the walls of the projects, it hit your chakra, and then you did something crazy. That's how come you was able to do breathtaking dance moves on the cardboard, right in the middle of the park. All right, then we put the frequency on the tape. All right, but the tape wore out. So these people that ushered in this covert psychological war on hip-hop decided to put it on the CD, changing the frequency of the music. And now we have shit out. I'm gonna say it again, one last thing. I'm not cursing. Shit is strategic high intensity training. I'm trying to explain some of this curse words so I don't get Michael in trouble. But I want to close on that point. Those that can stay and meet us upstairs, please do so.
Oh, we got the downstairs now.
Oh, we're moving downstairs. We're getting deeper. We're going downstairs.
Down the hall.
Oh, okay, cool. Those that can stay, please stay. I'd like to dialogue with you. Those that can't, thank you very much for having me. All right? No, come on in, y'all can sit on the floor if you like. Thank you very much for just kind of coming back. I didn't think this many people was gonna come back for real.
All right.
Simply because I don't get this kind of warm reception everywhere. Simply as you heard in the first part of the lecture, a lot of stuff is kind of hard to grasp and deal with. A lot of people are ready to deal with it. A lot of people just don't care to deal with it. A lot of people that are very comfortable in hip-hop is benefiting from hip-hop staying brain dead and are benefiting from the suffering masses of our people and that benefit from hip-hop in its present state. They wanted to keep hip-hop where it is now while we get everyone kind of seated. Can we do a recap of what we went over and then push forward? Is that far? Is that possible? You know, between shucking popcorn in your mouth, just gotta give me some response. I want to see. I'm not good at this electronic stuff, so we're gonna see if this stuff works. It's supposed to. Okay. All right. Can we kill that light? Is that possible? All right, so we went over the conditions that brought hip-hop into existence, for everyone that wasn't there. All right? And these are some of the things that brought hip-hop into existence, which we went over earlier. All right, we talked about the man, J. Edgar Hoover. Excuse me. J. Edgar Hoover. You're quite hostile. Just come right on in.
Yes, sir.
See, a lot of times you have to be jovial so people can digest the truth. Sometimes it takes the edge off so you can get it down. You understand what I'm saying? Each one of these slides you can kind of take 20, 30 minutes and deal with. Like I said, the lecture is part of a bigger lecture called the Pacify Antidote. It's a psychological covert war against hip-hop. I decided just to put a couple of hundred together to present for Michael Kors class. And if you give me a blank disc, you can keep the slides and show them over. And whoever else want them, just kind of give me a call. Take down my phone number, 678-55, when we start over.
Yes.
Six, that's what she told me when I tried to get her.
Right on the board, Griff. I'm gonna write it on the board.
Okay. 678-557-2919. Please, don't call me breathing hard on the phone and all that old madness. I ain't got time for that. For real. You know, seriously. Don't call me, ask me what my sign is and all that madness. Call me about this. Constructive conversation so we can move forward. Alright? Alright, so let's move on. We dealt with J. Edgar Hoover. Let's push on. I failed to mention Cynthia McKinney brought to our attention, and she actually had a conference on what is the black school, the black-white school in Washington, D.C. Howard, yes. At Howard University. And she brought this out. She says, as many may know, Congresswoman McKinney has been at the forefront of bringing out this COINTELPRO that's in effect now. It's just that we don't call it the COINTELPRO. It's actually the Patriot Act 1 and 2. All right, so the COINTELPRO didn't die when J. Edgar Hoover died. All right, they just pulled back, revamped it, gave it a new face, and here it is, and you're dealing with it today. All right, when we talk about the powers that be, and we talk about they, you have to get this document here. Go on, just Google it or something and put in dominance of the USA. And you will find the who's who. So when Steve Coakley says when we need to name the names, you can start connecting the dots and connecting the names to figure out the who's who. All right? So if you're dealing with Dick Cheney and why he's positioning himself the way he's positioning himself, if you get the chart and you start connecting Cheney's name with some of the other people, you see why they're making the moves that they're making. All right? And some of the same people that own Seagram's Gin and all these other companies are positioning themselves for the 2008 election. All right? Because big money's at stake. And don't get me wrong, it's not all about money. All right? I didn't want to put words on this because I just wanted you to digest this. Because we need to reaffirm everything that we think is justice in America. And if it's no good, chuck it right on out the window and just reapproach it. Are you following me? And I think what the sister is asking and what the brother is asking, let's just have a fair trial, which you know that's impossible for the United States government to do. They've broken every treaty that they've ever made with everyone.
That's right.
That's how come I cannot understand Tavis Smiley's madness with this covenant. I cannot understand this move that he's making, how he's positioning himself. If you look at America's history, they broke every treaty. We have any Native Americans in the room? Okay, see, that's the test of it. They've broken every treaty. These people cannot be trusted. So the only thing we're saying is give the man a decent and fair trial. And then let's go from there and let a jury hand it down, a jury of his peers. Are you following me? This is all we're asking. I think what we need to do, we need to say his name so it can resonate. You have to understand something. In the Holy Quran, Elijah Muhammad teaches us that all we said was be, and it was. That's how much power we have. See, but you lost your power because you're eating chicken, pork, and you're drinking Pepsi and Coke, and you're doing things all at a sink, which I'm going to show you in a few minutes, and I know you're going to disagree with me, but battle me on the intellectual battlefield. I'm only 5'5", 147 pounds, all right? Deal with me on the intellectual battlefield. You see, this is what happened when they accused me of talking about Jewish people. I laid some things out, and the brothers in the group couldn't handle it. And I'm like, let's stop having this dealing with abstractions. Let's sit down with the books. Let's get the scholars and see what they had to say. Let's get some Jewish scholars and sit them down, and we can answer the question. But no, they came against me. Chuck and them got weak and turned coward on me. Kicked me out of the group with no pay. And they said, well, we want you to come on national TV and apologize. I said, you out of your goddamn mind. My boss said, you never apologize for the truth. And it wasn't an insulting thing, a comment that I made about Jewish people. It was just taken out of context. If it was left in its proper context, we'd be fine. But we'd still have to come to the intellectual table and talk. Are you following me? All right, let's move forward. Do I need to explain this? We shall not exonerate Saddam Hussein whose actions were mobilized to meet this threat to vital interests in the Persian Gulf until the amicable solution is reached. Our best strategy is to be prepared. Leave that. We are going to kick your ass. And this is what they're doing.
Can we find this anywhere?
Let me tell you something straight up. That's the beauty of this whole thing, bro. Anyone can do this. You just have to have some heart and some time.
Word.
All this stuff is on the internet. I'm not no special kind of individual. Now you gotta have some heart to present it.
I like that.
Excuse me?
I said, I need a link.
Dude, just email me. I got you.
Okay.
Alright? The book, The Revolution of the Mental Dead by Darren Osborne, I told him I'd mention this. He says, what do the war on AIDS, the war on drugs, and the war on terror all have in common? Answer, none of them exist. It's part of the Hegelian principle. Alright? What they do is create a problem, or take a problem that already exists, exacerbate the tension to the problem, have you scream out for help, and the help that they give you is a plan that they already had in place any your damn way. This stuff didn't exist, the war on terror, the war on drugs. As much weed as some of my homeboys smoke, where was the war on terror? They use that as a ruse and a guise to lock us down. Are you following me? Let's move forward. We already went over this stuff. We don't need to go back over it. All right, we need to have a moment of silence for our man, Professor X, and pass on to the spiritual realm. What did he bring us? He dealt with the red, the black, and the green. Right? And all those that didn't understand, what did he call them? Sissies. Now you follow me. Y'all remember X-Clan. Don't play like y'all didn't hear. Alright? But what did they also bring us? They brought us the They wasn't afraid to dress in the red, black, and green. Alright? They wasn't afraid to speak on the eternal life. The original Trinity, the black woman, the black man, and the black child. Alright? The reason why Constantine and the rest of them took out the woman in that equation of the Trinity, because they were homosexuals. Alright? And they took the womb out of the cross and put a penis. That's why you get the cross. Are you following me? They hated women. And they hate women today. Alright, don't play like you don't see them at the mall. 12 and 13-year-old little girls holding hands, kissing. If that's your lifestyle, that's cool. Do your thing. Alright? We're trying to raise a nation of people here. Alright? I wanted to say this earlier, but I didn't think the people could handle it. But since you came back, you stuck now. Don't let nobody out. We're gods having a human experience. We're actually spirit beings having a human experience. We operated on a God plane. Alright? Like I said, we pulled down from the Akashic records. Alright? And we gave it an art. And we gave it form. And we presented it to everyone else. So we pulled from it. Elijah Muhammad said the 12 major scientists pulled from it and gave us the Holy Quran. Certain parts of scripture were revealed to prophets that came to the people. Are you following me? Keep in mind, prophets don't come when something is right. Right? Prophets come when something is wrong. Alright? So in the book, in the Holy Quran, it may read, if all the trees were pens and all the seas were ink. You can never exhaust the words of Allah because all Allah's words are not in the book. Where are they at? They're in the Akashic records. Are you following me? Okay. Are you sure? All right. And if it be the weight of an atom, and the atom is hidden in the rock, and the rock is hidden in the earth, yet Allah will bring it forth. Christians, Muslims, stop saying everything is in the book. It's not. It's in the universe. All right. You just got to get in tune. Line your chakras back up. Get in tune with yourself so you can pull it down. Are you following me?
Yes.
Well, we went over the energy centers, which are your chakras. This is actually the Akashic records. Alright? I demonstrated that earlier, which is on this DVD here, and which is in Black Dot's book, Hip Hop Decoded, from its ancient origin to its modern day matrix. He deals with the parallel universe, on how Russell Simmons represents the parallel universe of hip hop. He created a parallel universe to hip hop, and Black Dot calls it shit hop. All right, that's the parallel universe. All right, let's go over some of these things in the parallel universe. I had to mention this point of reference because everyone here should have a point of reference. We're black on purpose, not by accident. All right? Black is not a color's essence from which colors come. Let's move forward. We went over this. These people from Homeland Security stole the colors of the chakra and they lined them up just like the chakras. High-tech theft. See, you wouldn't know that unless you knew what the chakras meant. Now you know. All right? Let's move forward. The rising up of the Ka and the Ba, which is the spirit, the Ka, and the soul. The spirit and the soul. All right? That's why they have a Kaaba at Mecca. And it's black. Did I say it was black? And it's black. All right? You have to understand this sacred science. Black Dot wanted me to drop this because I guess he's trying to sell his book over here. But he took the chakras, lined them up, put it there, and then he took half of the United States and put it over the chakras to show you how the consciousness was coming from. The consciousness was coming from New York, the North Gate. And a lot of the negative stuff was coming from the lower chakra. All right, Florida, Georgia, Texas. All right? Are you following me? All right. I dealt with the frequencies coming off the wax and the frequencies and vibrations. This I didn't tell you. There's a company called Bright House out of Emory University. Students from Emory University came up with a company called Bright House. What Bright House does is they do experimenting on black people to test your neurological senses. So they put these wires to your brain, they sit you down in front of the TV, show you images, and see what moves black people. And they've been doing these tests for a long time. What Bright House does is take the data and the information and sell it to people like Coca-Cola to come up with products like this. What is the genetic material that can cause white genetic annihilation? Where does it lie? In the testicles. From those brothers with a high concentration of melanin. Are you following me? So Bright House takes the information and sell it to people like Coca-Cola, and they come up with the dark substances that white people have to constantly digest. You hear them in the morning because you work with them. They got to have their cup of coffee. And they got to be deep, rich, and dark.
All day long.
Are you following me? So Dr. Frances Cress Welsing says the white woman says her ideal mate is who? Tall, dark, and handsome. Right or wrong? You know what I'm talking about. They even came up with some chocolate cigarettes. The hell, they said, if I'm going to die of cancer, I might as well go basking in their darkness. Listen, I'm saying all this, I'm saying that to say this. You know, be it as it may. We're the key to this whole thing, brothers and sisters. This world wouldn't even function if it wasn't for our vibration. We're letting this madness go on because we're vibrating at a low frequency. Are you following me? I don't know how many more times I have to say lecture. You have to raise your vibration. All right? You can start by cleaning your temple up. So your chakras can spin faster. All right? Be careful of how you think. Thought travels at the rate of 24 billion miles per second. All right? Your words have a frequency and a tone to them. Be careful. Layla Africa taught me that pink is not necessarily a bad color. But when you take it out of the context in which it was given, which is actually red, and red is diluted, red is a male color. All right? But whence came the pink? This is actually some mind control. Because the day the black man put on pink, and then half the country started wearing pink, there's something up with that. All right? Like there was something up as soon as they put out the song, "Hang in my white tee, hang in my white tee." Everywhere I went, I started seeing brothers with white tees. And you end up seeing this on their chest. Are you following me? Which is sad. If you can get that many black people to do one thing at the same damn time, how come we just can't say, let's be free and get free? Get free or die trying. Let's push on. It says the consciousness and the intelligent manipulation of organized habits and opinions of the masses is important element in a democratic society. Like I said earlier, you sheep, you useless eaters. They call you units. Are you following me? So they have to get you to follow these trends. All right? What's the next trend going to be? taking the implantable biomicrochip. Either in your ass or your arm, it don't make a difference. Are you following me?
Yeah.
All right, this is where I'm about to lose half the audience. You ain't got to watch the door no more. I'm going to say this as polite as possible. Brothers and sisters, they've changed our orientation upside down. We actually have a concept we call up south. We never look to Europe for health, for wealth, for intelligence, for guidance. We never look up to Europe. We always looked into the interior of Africa. So by changing your orientation, by turning you upside down, which way does the Nile River flow? Thank you. Up south, into the interior of Africa, right or wrong. How do we get so twisted? We call it down south. Are you following me? So not only did they change your orientation, they changed the way we wrote. We wrote in characters. Then we started speaking a verbal tongue, right? Then we started writing from, pardon me, no, we started writing. We were ambidextrous people. We wrote with both hands in two separate subjects at the same time. Then we went further and further down, and we started writing from right to left. You see some of the scrolls in your manuscripts that are written from right to left. Then as we went further down, we started writing in characters like the Oriental people do. We start writing in characters up and down. You see how orientation is changing? Then how the hell do we end up in America reading and writing from left to right? You're totally damn backwards. Not only did they change your orientation, they changed the time frequency in which you even operate. We operate on a 30, 13, 20 frequency. They got you operating on a 1260 frequency. Am I losing you? Are you following me? That's why black people got this thing we call CP time. We ain't never on time because they took you out of your natural sequence. They changed your time frequency. I hear some of y'all thinking. How they went about this process is really too deep for me to get into, but the main thing they did was take God out of the center of your life and replace it with a white Jesus. Having to do with metaphysics, dealing with the esoteric and the exoteric. Have you waiting on somebody to come damn save you? No, like I said earlier, you have to save yourself. All right? Let's move forward. We'll get into that later. You have to study the law of time in order to understand the 1260 civilization that operated. And how they got to a point, and it had a lot to do with the Nicene Council at 325 AD. How they changed the time frequency and the images of Christ and this kind of thing. All right? How we operated, we can actually go in and out of certain dimensions which we can operate. You've heard of shape shifting. You've seen the movie Hollow Man. Come on, talk to me. You've seen the movie, raise your hand. He was able to go into, operate in one dimension, come out of that dimension and operate in a totally different dimension. Like Black Dot teaches here with the dual parallel universe. All right? Let's move on. So it says the artificial frequency that was set up, the 1260, is irregular. 12-month calendar mechanical, 60-minute hour is a natural time frequency of 1320. All right? This 30-day cycle of time that we get to pay our bills is very unnatural to us. All right? The alarm clock. Look at the names. Alarm clock. All right? It sets an alarm. Are you following me? Even the tone that they set to the clocks is not on our frequency, brothers and sisters. When it goes off in the morning, you want to smack the thing off the damn dresser, right or wrong. Right. It's not on our frequency. That's not how you should wake someone up. All of this is very important. You're throwing your sequence out of whack. No, y'all didn't get that. They didn't get that. I'm going to step outside for a minute and let them marinate on that right there. Your time frequency is off. That's how come every time you see him with a clock, it's a different time and the time sequence is off. Before he knew who he was, operating in the context of Public Enemy. Y'all not getting that. Let's move on. No, we won't move on. We went over the fact that the melanin is very important in getting all of this back. Melanin is actually a brain outside of the brain. Are you following me? So you don't need to have a whole high concentration of vitamin C and D. Brothers and sisters, all you got to do is walk out and just bask in the sun, and you got it. You got it. I'm telling you, if you would take care of yourself and eat right and get off this white, male, American, European diet, you know the number 3 at McDonald's, McDevils, Taco Hell, Kentucky Fried Chicken, and the rest of them, Toxic Hell, what's it, Taco Hell, who's it, Taco Bell, and the rest of them. If you leave that madness alone, you get in sync with yourself. All right? Let's move on. And this is the proof of it. He went from criminal-minded and started dropping some deep signs because he changed his frequency. This is proof of it. KRS-One is proof of it. It's hard for me to grasp some of the things he's doing now at the tip of hip-hop, but that's another story. We still love the brother. He's still on the front lines. All right? Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never harm me. That's a damn lie. Words have always hurt us. All right? What are some of those words that have hurt us? Nigga. You can say it.
Coon.
You can say it. Nigga has a frequency, man, that's just not even in sync with what we're about. Not only the historical implications that it has, all right? And I'm not proud of this, but my son called me. He got suspended yesterday because some white guy called him a black ass nigga. And so I'm saying, well, what's the difference in a nigga than a black ass nigga? Is there a difference? Because some white people now call themselves niggas. And we allow white people now to use that terminology because white people understand it as a term of endearment. Because some dumbass rappers done said it's cool to say the word nigga, and it's not. All right, let me slow down. It's not cool to say, white people. All right? Now I'm going to take it a step further. Black people, it's not cool to say. Because all they do is imitating you. If you didn't pull it down and say it, they wouldn't say it. If you didn't make it cool to say, they wouldn't say it. But you make it cool. You put it on a t-shirt. You say it like it's cool. You say it around them. And it's supposed to be cool now, and it's not. A lot of white people have been hurt. As soon as that last syllable leave their mouth. So I went over that already. And I need to emphasize the fact that it's important that we still go through the naming rituals of our children. And even when you go through the ritual of giving yourself a name as a rapper, it's very important. Because when you're called into the hall of justice, the hall of Ma'at, they're not even going to know your damn name. All right? C. Murder, who ironically was brought up on charges of murder. You see the vibration? You sending the vibration out. So the Source magazine was supposed to be the source. Mind you, he just lost a court case. He don't own the Source anymore. Maybe it's a good thing. But because the Source in its early days put nothing but gangster rap on the cover. Never gave any conscious people any play. But the question is, are rappers the new target of America's criminal justice system? I think so. I think so. A good name is better than gold. The whipping of Kuta Kente to change his name to Toby. You need to go back and you need to put roots under a microscope and understand it for exactly what it is. All right? You change your name, you change the frequency of everything. Now mother cannot use the mother tongue to call you back in line. Especially if you gave your child a name and you went through the ritual of giving your child a name that has meaning. All right? As I said earlier, and I'm sure you might not remember, and we don't have a lot of time to go back, but if I can real quick just to prove this point, if I can find it. If not, we'll push forward. Right here. My son is named Khalil. So in learning metaphysics and learning from the ancestors, the Ka and the Ba, I was taught, you maybe have been taught something else. The spirit of life, the breath of life that was breathed into Adam in the scripture is actually the spirit and the soul. Giving you a spirit and activating your soul. So when I named my children, I went through the ceremony of naming them with the Ka, or the Ba sound, or the Ra, the Pata, that sound. Are you following me?
Yeah.
So my daughter's name is Takia. My son's name is Khalil. It has the Ka and the Ta sound in it. You follow me? Let's move forward. Y'all are very smart on these. You're going to make my job real easy tonight. Are y'all thinking of your names right now? Because I see somebody looking at the back of my head. So y'all think of your name? What's your name? Tell me some names.
Najee.
Najee? Very positive. So think of some of the names that you have. Think of some of the children's names that are out. LaQuisha and all these. Tay Tay and Man Man and Peanut. All right, ye all God's children of the Most High. This is a joke when they put this on the album covers. You know, the young people, they work their way around this. Are you following me? This is for entertainment purposes only. We went over this. We don't need to go back over it. This is very funny, but it's very true. Because before all of this is over, we're going to get reparations one way or the other. All right? We're going to get reparations one way or the other. I'm going to say it again. We're going to get reparations one way or the other. I want to put this concept of love. When you see this logo, right? The heart. A lot of times when you see it, what does it mean? I heart you? No. What does it mean? It means love, right? Well, where they got that concept from, it's very ironic that Dr. Francis Quest Rosing said that genetic material that can annihilate white people, or cause white genetic annihilation, lies in the testicles of the black man, because if all the brothers just on this campus or just in this city would date 3 white women at the same time, and we got all of them pregnant, white people would just disappear after a while, right or wrong? No, come on, think about it. If all the brothers would just get white women and just impregnate them, white people would disappear. Am I right or wrong?
Right.
So do they really want everyone to love one another? No, they fear that. They fear that. So they have to change the frequency once again by giving you this thing called the heart. Now you know your physical heart doesn't look like that, right or wrong? Where did this concept come from, Puffy? So your friend, Saint Valentine's, although you celebrate Saint Valentine's Day by giving what, flowers and hearts and chocolate candy, where did the heart come from? Well, real quick, the heart came from this concept of St. Valentine's Day eating the heart of his lover after having oral sex. So if you could just look at this abstraction here, this heart, from a top point of view, and what he did was kind of, the man bent down to have oral sex, and the shape of his buttocks formed that symbol that you see here. And they called it the heart. Are you following me? Are you really following me? Okay. Let's move forward. So I drew this chart the other night. And as you can see, as Dr. Francis Cress Rosing pointed out the 9 areas of people activity: religion, politics, entertainment, education, economics, labor law, war, and sex and religion. All right? I kind of put those things that are going on in hip-hop in each category. It's an actual course at Syracuse University, Little Kim 101, where they go over Little Kim's lyrics. All right? This is actually going on in religion. Pimping, the process of loaning your woman out. See the vibration changing around? It got kind of cold. Because that's all you see in church. And that's all the preacher is doing. It may take you all night to explain. But you got to get it. Just listen. Just change your frequency. You'll be able to get it. It's not hard. You know the beast that they're creating in hip-hop is war. There's an internal war going on in hip-hop. What is that? A cultural distraction. On one hand, that's the left hand. On the right hand, you can look at it as what? Durational suicide. Unlike slitting your throat or your wrist or taking pills or blowing your brains out, you're killing yourself slowly, and you don't even know it. By sending your children to the enemy school, you're killing yourself slow. It's a slow death. Anyway, so Public Enemy, we answered back by doing this. Because we knew what we was up against. We sent the Dr. Francis Cress Rosing Color Confrontation. We bought as many as we can buy, and we gave them out. As we was visiting AIDS patients and visiting death row brothers and sisters in jail and in prison. As we went around visiting people in hospitals, we handed it out to people. We was trying to raise the consciousness level of our people. We spoke outside of the CD, outside of the lyrics. We wouldn't put in the community and put it into action. All right? What Michael Kors is trying to do here, not only here at Temple University, but in Philadelphia. This is the purpose and the reason for it. Barry Bonds dressing up as Paula Abdul. See, brother, the genetic maturity that can cause white genetic annihilation lies in your testicles. But as long as you're doing this, they're not afraid of you. You pose no threat to racism, white supremacy. This is what the rappers should be rapping about. But they not. Long as he's doing this, he can't protect her. It can't happen. It cannot happen. So I drew another chart. Real quick. You have a lifestyle. You got to go to work. They say put in work, which you know involves energy, to get money, to buy yourself things, cars, jewelry, houses, clothes, which they advertise on TV, movies, radio, magazines, and media, which stands for multi-ethnic destruction in America, or maniac European devils in action. To bring you right back to a lifestyle. But the second time around, you're getting your lifestyle from them now. You're no longer in control of your own life or your style. Are you following me? So now the vibration has changed. We don't no longer listen to blues, gospel, which told the story. We've always told stories, the oral tradition, as you spoke about earlier. Are you following me? So we used to carry on the oral tradition. Then, as you can see the dissension now. We started relying on our soul. Now we don't even have that in the music. They call it hip hop and R&B. Are you following me? You can't tell a rapper from a singer. Now the singers are trying to rap and the rappers are trying to sing. All right, so moving right along. Now we don't get any of this. We get this: thugging, pimping, balling, dance hall, snap music, trap music, and crunk music, which have nothing to do with the four elements of hip hop. So the saying is, what goes around comes around. And it's coming back around. I'm going to show you in a minute. I pointed this out earlier. Culture will protect the people from genocide. You have to protect your culture. Now I'm going to tell you straight up. You as a black person, you can't come and invade Italian culture.
That's right.
You can't come up in that spot doing and saying what you want to do. No, they won't allow you to do it. They keep their culture intact. Through song, through dance, through storytelling. Are you following me? Okay, where's your culture? Asians the same way. Everyone except us. Let's move forward. We've seen all of this stuff. Yeah, I got a bone to pick with this dude, but I'm going to talk about that later on. He destroyed me in his book, but we'll talk about that later.
Oh, take it back.
Culture is the head and the heart of a people. Let's move forward. I got some interesting things to show you. It's funny that we're on campus, brother. You know why? Because this brother from MIT put this in this magazine. All right, which is critical, simply because why would a gentleman from MIT be linking up who collaborated with one another? Simply because when they round us up, brothers and sisters, they're gonna want to know who's friends with who and who collaborated with who. So now, when the new law, when the hammer of justice falls, and they want to know who's selling drugs in what community, they want to know who's hooked up with who. Who's doing the pimping? Who's doing the thugging? Because you're going to be called to account for that. Either on that side of the fence or this side of the fence.
Right.
So, but the main thing with this is they take information like this from a gentleman from MIT, grad student, Reginald Smith. They take information like this and they put it in a database. And they pass this kind of stuff on to Homeland Security. So it's easy to track you down, brother. So I'm saying, in this part of it, if all of the thugs and ballers and pimps can get together and make songs, how come the conscious people can't? Let's move forward. Big up to this brother. Who know who this is? Who is it? African Bambaataa. Black Dot deals with it when he talks about the parallel universe. He's actually on the right side. Russell Simmons, who created Shit Hop, is actually on the left side, trying to imitate what this man did in the beginning. Actually was one of the ones responsible for coming up with the term hip hop. We didn't even call it hip hop in the beginning. It just was, because we just who we are. Are you following me? I think that explains it better. Very monumental song. Before there was a Public Enemy, Grandmaster Flash and Furious 5 laid it out. How many people know this song? What was the main line in this song that got to you? It says, "Don't push me, cause I'm close to the edge. Right, come on. I'm trying not to lose my head. Stop, hold on. What was he talking about? It's about to get to that point. United States government, if I don't do music to get out the frustration, to do something, to learn how to make a living for myself, it's about to be on and crackling. Am I right or wrong? It's about to be on and popping. So don't push me, because I'm already close to the edge. I'm telling y'all straight up, I'm trying not to lose my head. Alright? Are you following me? Rick Rubin is actually the architect of hip-hop. Wait a minute, not this hip-hop. Shit-hop. He was the one that changed the frequency. Put the rock stuff in Public Enemy's music. Responsible for the Beastie Boys thing. Responsible for the collaboration of Run DMC and Aerosmith. Damn near one of the ones responsible for the whole commercialization of hip-hop, because now Run DMC went from being on the block to selling Adidas. Alright? To do all kind of madness. Big up to Run DMC, don't get me wrong. You know, they spread hip-hop throughout the world and made a lot of people know and understand hip-hop. But we're not the ones benefiting from hip-hop. Alright? Let's move forward. Real forward. A whole lot forward. Y'all seen this stuff. It came after Ice-T for Cop Killing. It wasn't even a hip-hop song. That was not about hip-hop. Pardon me, it was not about Ice-T. That was about hip-hop. They just wanted to destroy Ice-T at the time because Ice-T was one of the ones responsible for the pimp thing on the West Coast. If you can remember. Are you following me? Now this is madness to me.
We asked earlier that all cell phones be turned off, and for the last 15 minutes, somebody's phone is just going off. Please, turn your cell phones off or leave.
There you go.
Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes said it better than I can. It says, wake up everybody, no more sleeping in bed, no more backwards thinking time, move thinking ahead. But now, why would racism, white supremacy award or reward these two fine actors and actresses for roles that were demeaning to black people? Come on, talk to me now. We need to at least ask the damn question. And then why would they accept it?
Right.
Okay, if that question, if the answer to that question is rolling around in your brain, then answer this one. This is ridiculous. Because if you could tell me all the 666s you see in this picture, please, see that frequency, we need to change that frequency. And all they can do is skin and grin like Nick Buck dancing Negroes. Are you following me?
Yeah.
So somebody please stand up and tell me, what is this significance behind the 3-6 Mafia? In the book of Revelations, didn't they teach us about the 666 being the mark of a man and the mark of the beast?
Yeah, 6 Mafia. Ain't that a bit?
Now, Mafia don't stand for made and formed in Africa. Don't get me wrong. That's what some Michael Eric Dyson came out. I'm like, dude, come on. Once again. Can somebody give him my phone number? I mean, I know he's afraid of me. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not this big tough guy. But brothers like that won't sit down and talk to me. Because I keep it real. Wait a minute. Let me explain it, because I don't want you leaving here foolish. I keep it real. Not real. Are you following me? And there is a difference. Them brothers nowadays, like 3-6 Mafia, who has a movie out called Choices. Who's seen the movie? Well, the movie Choices look just like the video game. What's the video game? Grand Theft Auto. Who played the game Grand Theft Auto? They calling bitches and niggas and shooting people through the whole video game. Straight up. And these are the games that your children are playing. Have you seen the game, Michael?
Yeah.
It's critical. How are we going to counteract these things? We're going to hell in a damn handbasket. And we better wake up for real, both black and white people, young and old. Let's move forward. Now, Michael Jackson, as black or as white as he is, he had to tell the truth by actually calling Sony Music some racist devils. Something I've been saying since 1986, but no one want to hear me. All right? going to show you why. I'm going to skip over all of this. We're going to get right to the thicker things. I got to deal with this, though. Because black popular culture continues to descend. The most recent monstrous aspect of it comes, as usual, from the world of hip-hop, where thugs and freelance prostitutes have become celebrated for a number of years. This new development is observable in his new rap video, Jay-Z, Big Pimpin', and Ludacris pimping in Africa, pimping all over the world. He's actually in the video with a Marcus Garvey t-shirt on. Pimping hoes now in Africa. Somebody has to speak to this. Someone needs to stand up and say something, all right? Let's move forward. Changing up, remember I said changing our frequency, right? We already went over your man Puffy. All right? The Negro child will be presented with a humiliating picture of Negro as dirty, shiftless, lazy, happy-go-lucky, smelly, ignorant, treacherous, superstitious, and cowardly, and he may find himself expected to live up to this. And this is what's going on Cartoon Network and the rest of that madness going on today. Let's move forward. As I said earlier, those are the themes that's going on in the video games. All right? This is what's beamed to the phones, your cell phones now. So if your daughter 11, 12, and you gave him a cell phone and an iPod, this is what's going on. All right? He joined the club because George Bush said you either with us or you against us. I guess he said I got to get paid. So I'm wilding out. And that's what the youth are doing, wilding out. You ever see the brothers now, they wearing their shirt half off, their pants down, one side of the hair is braided and the other side is picked out. And they walk and talking through their gold teeth like this. What's up, son? Yo, what's up, son? You understand what I'm saying? That's Ashwa Kwesi puts it. We got that because the science of us being enslaved. We still walk like we got that damn ball and chain on our ankle and we gotta drag it. You understand what I'm saying? And that's why we do this. Are you following me? They did a test on the elephant. They kept them chained up. They took the chain off the elephant. The elephant did not even go out of that circumference. That's the same thing that's happening to us. I think Carter G. Woodson said it better. All right, here we go. This was in a magazine. Now, I don't know if y'all seeing the subtle implications to this thing. Can we look into it instead of at it? Can I show you what I see? They know and understand that we gods having a human experience. They know and understand that we're spirit beings having a human existence. So what they did was they put the God degree here, the number 7. Then they turned around and called you original, which you are the original man and black woman. All right? But now this is the original blazing dime piece hair grease. You understand what I'm saying? They put it in here to attract your subconscious. All right, they call you original again. They know you're trying to be a dime piece. What's the significance in the terminology to dime? How do we program computers? Come on, you're smarter than talk to me. Some of you computer majors, we use what? The 10, right or wrong? I defy anyone in this audience. You got my number. Any magazine ad that you see and you see a clock or a watch, it's always 1010. Why? This is the language that these people that are global multinational corporations, this is how they speak to one another. Why is it always 1010? Where's the seat of government in America? The district of what? Come on. Think faster than Columbia, right? What's the logo for Columbia? No, it's the all-seeing eye. They stole your all-seeing eye, the third eye, which is the mind, right or wrong. And what else is Columbia? The Colombian faction of the Illuminati runs this whole thing. Are you following me? You can see it in the language on how they speak to one another. The target symbol, the circle within the circle within the circle. Amoco gas station, the torch, the light, holders of the light, the Illuminati, the illuminated ones. That's how come when the little ones are smart, you say they're what? They're bright.
Statue of Liberty.
Statue of Liberty, all of them are in cahoots. All of the hotel chains, look at their logos. It's either the rising sun or the setting sun, right or wrong. These people are called men of towardness. And they used it 1010 because that's where they live. 10 square miles in the District of Columbia. They're called men of towardness. Regardless of how slow they move, they're always moving towards their ultimate goal. Are you following me? That's just a sidebar. Can we get back to this? So now they're aiming this stuff at the youth. Brought to you by Big Ballers Incorporated. Alright? You got the Wayans brothers now coming up with a new cartoon called Thugaboo on Nickelodeon. They're aiming this stuff at your children because they know you ain't doing a damn thing about it. You thought South Park was bad. He said he don't even let his children watch TV. This is Jimmy Iovine, owner of what label? Interscope, which is responsible for what? Gin and juice. And his father owns what? The Seagram Gin Company. So you see the connection?
Yeah.
No wonder Snoop Dogg and Dre was talking about driving down the street. Riding down the street. Because they're part of the company. The person that's putting out the records, they got to promote gin and juice. Let's move forward. We went over this already. Ooh, this is kind of deep. I seen this because my daughter's name is Issa. And I see when I went on the website, I seen the ISA and it caught my attention. So I said, what, does that have any significance? So I'm looking at it from a metaphysical standpoint of view, right? So I'm saying, okay, Isa in Arabic is what? Jesus. I'm saying, what's the significance of Interscope, Shady Records, and Aftermath talking about Jesus? And then why are they trying to make him the new Jesus, the new American Idol? Are you following me? So I went to another page, another website, and it hit me right in the forehead. Eminem and the 12 Disciples, D12. 6 rappers, 1 died. 6 rappers with 2 personalities apiece. So we got Jesus and the disciples. Bringing us back to this. That's if your pineal gland is open. That's if your third eye is open. So you're not going to see that if you smoking weed every day. Getting up at 2 o'clock in the damn afternoon with no damn job, brother. You ain't going to see that. Or if you got your nose up some chicks behind at the strip club doing this, you know you only got about $40 in your pocket, but you trying to ball on a budget, right? For real. Let's move on. So, Brother Kamari gave me this, Jeremiah Kamari. I'm sure y'all see the FBI with the Faith-Based Initiative. And I'm sure you see the CIA. Wait a minute. I don't put these pictures together. This is on the internet. So you got to open up your pineal gland and raise your vibration level to open up your chakras. All right? So here we go. You see, y'all not following this. That got by y'all. I'm going to slow down. The new icon, Jesus and the 12, right? Okay. I showed y'all the picture. Y'all didn't get it because I didn't hear nothing from nobody. Here's your man looking like Hitler. Right? No, seriously. All right, cool. I'm just here. How many people in the back of him? Oh, I'm not gonna say. Oh, no. No, y'all didn't catch that. Where is he sitting?
In the middle.
Is this not the Last Supper? Open up your mind, people. Let's look into the picture instead of at it. You got to understand the language that they're using to speak to one another. Are you following me? All right, let's move on. I didn't get a chance to meet this guy, but I do want to talk to you because you're not an angry black white boy, dude. See, stealing your frequency again. So now he's mad. So I heard him on the radio. He said, how dare black people not allow white people into the culture of hip-hop? Because hip-hop is a musical art form. No, you're wrong. Music is part of the art form. Then again, we go up there and get it and bring it down so they can understand it. He's not going to understand it. You can't be black, dude. Participate in the culture, yes. If I go and have a meal and a ceremony with Italian people, I can go participate that day, but when I leave, I still leave black, right or wrong. I'm not Italian. Okay, we need to talk to him then. All right? We went through this because your man Bill, all right, Del Jones said we're the only people that will celebrate our oppressor having oral sex in the White House. All right? Kanye broke from the script. We went over that earlier. I tried to get in contact with Juvenile to talk to him because maybe I could come down to New Orleans and help out. I guess they don't want me in New Orleans. The brother never called me back.
No.
But it's critical because, you know, I think someone needs to speak to what this really is about. How many people have ever heard of HARP? Okay, put that in the search engine. That's your homework assignment. And you will be tested when I come back. All right? I'm serious. If you think the Rodney King thing was something, this brother got beat worse. It ain't changed, brothers and sisters. And it's not going to change until you do something about it. You got to raise your consciousness level. All right? And she did say that. It's an actual quotation. See, they look at you as animals. And so many of the people in the area here, you know, we're underprivileged anyway, so, you know, this kind of works out for them. This is how they think of us. We're animals to them. So I back it up by saying this. He said, if we just abort all black babies, the crime rate will go down. This is how they think about you. So this woman right here just had some foster care children and she kept them in cages. She just straight up kept them in cages like they were animals. And if that's not enough, I think I have one more. Well, I told you earlier that the lady from Kenya, from New Zealand, she sent food, and she sent 42 tons of dog food to feed the starving population in Kenya. This is how they think about you. You animals to them. We cannot tolerate this, brothers and sisters, because now it's psychological. In certain aspects, it's physical. But it's going to be an all-out physical attack on our people. I'm just saying, when they come for my ass in the morning, know that they're coming for your ass at night.
Oh, yeah.
That same night.
That's right.
Because they got to get the mouthpiece out the way first. Yeah. Those of us that dare to stand up and come to the classroom and speak like this, they got to get us out of the way first. They got to get the Pam Africas and the Mumias and the Michael Kors out of the way. Did you hear that? They coming for y'all first. So I don't know what kind of plans y'all got. But this is the ultimate plan. Not only did they do this, they got some of the refugees, that's what they call them. Some of the people that's indigenous that they're supposed to be protecting because these were UN peacekeepers. They got some of the 11-year-old girls pregnant. Because the sisters were trading the sex for the food because they were hungry. Yeah. So they didn't mind. So they would get some pregnant, have fun with some, burn some, kill some. It don't matter to them. Because you're not saying anything about it. You waiting on Messi Jackson and the rest of them to say something. Everybody need, if this is affecting you, you need to say something. Let's move forward. And then after the Super Bowl is over, we can leave the security tight and use the stadium for a concentration camp. Don't think this stuff is not out there just haphazardly. This is what they are thinking. How many people heard of the Rex 84 King Alfred plane?
I heard of the 10.
Number 10, someone said? We'll be written in as units. Am I right? All right. I'm just sounding the alarm. I'm on the war horn. I'm letting you know. This is your wake-up call. You see, in a minute, the Patriot Act going to tighten up, and you're not going to have people on campus like this speaking to you. Are you following me?
Yes.
So don't wait till tomorrow to start moving on this. Contact the sister here, Pam Africa, and Michael Kors and see what you could do in Philadelphia. All right? There's a reason for the proper, and I want to just say this while I got the picture up, because this is the reason why they didn't give me a letter of recommendation at Oglethorpe University. I put this picture up, and they just said I was rabble-rousing. But I made a very valid point, and let me put it to you, and you give me some feedback. Were not Jewish people during Nazi Germany very prominent, very rich, very intelligent?
Yes.
Okay. Do we have some very rich, prominent black people today?
Yeah.
All I did was do a parallel. And I said our people, our leaders today, next to what was going on in Nazi Germany then. And guess what they was doing as they was leading Jewish people into the ovens? They had an orchestra playing. Same thing they doing today with our people. And when they about to put your black behind into the ovens, you're going to have rappers doing this. How many people heard the FEMA number song? What's your FEMA number? Your FEMA number. Your FEMA number. I'm like, come on, dude. This this.
Oh, that's
Oh yeah, they tripping. But we all gonna be tripping in a minute if we don't check it. Am I right or wrong?
right.
And that's the parallel I made. Jewish people had a whole lot of influence and a whole lot of money, but couldn't keep themselves out of the gas ovens. They should have organized that power to put together a security defense force to protect them from that very same thing. And the only thing I said on campus is this: we as black people need to do the same thing before we end up in that same situation. That's all. We need to defend our own selves. Self-preservation. I was on a plane and there was some turbulence. And the oxygen mask came down. And what did the stewardess tell you before you took off? You put the mask on who first? Yourself first. You have to look out for you before you can look out for anyone else. Am I right or wrong?
That's right.
And that's the only thing I'm suggesting. Self-preservation. Black people looking out for black people. Trillions of dollars come through our hand every year, right or wrong? What do we own? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. You think you own your house, you don't. You don't own your car. Are you following me? Black people are poor, hungry, naked, and out of doors. Am I right or wrong? You own nothing, you run nothing in America but your damn mouth.
That's right.
If white people stop making toilet tissue, what would you wipe your behind with? You don't own a tree, you don't own land. Land is the basis of economic freedom. You own nothing. But you say we have power. No, you don't. Just because you got a job, that doesn't equate to power.
Right.
You going to the mall and being able to buy a $125 pair of sneakers don't equate to power. Let's move on. I know I'm getting a little excited, but I have to when I see Jacob the jeweler ushering in this whole bling bling thing. And it pisses me the hell off, man, for real. To see it. Then they mention this character in all their songs. And then they bling bling and they come up with everything. One cat got a Jesus piece, the Birdman got his thing. We bling bling and we spend $100,000, $200,000. Beyonce, I seen it. Got a $3 million pinky ring. I was like, damn, you know the education how people can get with that?
Yeah.
$3 million on a pinky. One cat got about $200,000 in his grill. And where do they get this from? Come on now. We got cash millionaires. Where do they get it from? You've heard of King Leopold. You've read the book. You've seen the documentary. This cracker, excuse me, this gentleman used to wake up in the morning and take a machete and take a 5-year-old girl and slit her down her body for fun. Read the book. Go get the documentary. King Leopold. He worked our people from the time they were born to the time they died. And you want to bling bling? Cash money millionaires? Look what they were doing to our people. They got us having, in Sierra Leone and other places, having diamond wars.
That's right.
So Kanye West and the rest of them brag about they don't get their diamonds from South Africa and from places where they enslave our people. You a damn lie. You don't know where the damn diamonds come from. You idiot. So this is what they did to this sister. They found the sister stealing one of the diamonds, so they cut up her left hand. This is how they started. They cut up your left hand first. So they caught her stealing again and they cut up her right hand. They put the sister out in the field. She was determined to steal some diamonds to feed her family. She accidentally swallowed one of the diamonds because what they do, they put a rope around your neck with a cup. And she was taking the diamonds out of the field with her teeth and putting it in the cup, crawling on all fours like a dog. Then when they found out that the sister stole a diamond, she accidentally swallowed one. They took the sister in, cut the sister open without anesthesia, opened her up, took the damn diamond out, sewed her back up and kicked her behind back in the field and worked her to death. But you want to bling bling on MTV. And I noticed the rappers grabbing their chain doing this. I'm like, come on, dude. If you only knew. People are dying at the other end of you bling blinging. Are you following me?
Oh, yeah.
This is real life, man. This ain't no play thing. Let's move forward. I don't know who this guy is. He's probably an agent. Alex Constantine. Like Shakespeare wasn't a real person. There was a secret society they called Shakespeare. So they could write the Bible or rewrite the Bible or translate it out of its original tongue. 40 people got together over 100, 200 years and put it together. Are you following me? Okay. They did surveillance for on these two brothers. I'm going to sum it up in a minute, brother, all right?
Yeah.
They did surveillance on these two brothers right up until the time they were murdered. And then they come and tell us they don't know who killed Biggie and Tupac. Let me tell you something, man. They got satellites out there.
That's
That's
right.
right.
There's some seats in there if you don't want to come sit down. There's some seats in there. You don't want to come sit down. Come on in real quick. They got satellites that are out there that can see the pubic hair on a goddamn mosquito. You understand what I'm saying? You mean to tell me you don't know who killed Biggie and Tupac? I watch court TV every other night. I know they can find the killers. But they don't want to. Why? Because they got their hand in it. They had their hand in it. It was better that he spoke about thug life as opposed to the revolutionary path that he was on. So now they can resurrect the spirit of Tupac and give it back to our young people as thug life. And we don't educate our young people and say, no, Tupac was more than just thug life. Are you following me? So they wouldn't give the brother that came up with Boondocks any airtime until he started using the term nigga.
Yet they can't use the word Jesus.
Ain't that something? And they just pulled this episode. They can't show this anymore. The Dr. Martin Luther King episode, because they said if Dr. King came back after 32, after so many years and came back, would he approve of the Reverend Fishbone and Reverend Ham Hock, Reverend Fatback, Creflo wants some more dollar, T.D. Snakes, the Jehovah's Wickedness, and the rest of them? Are you following me? No, don't get offended. Take my phone number and call me on some of this stuff. I spoke earlier about the first millennium edition of American Directory of Certified Uncle Toms. This is the book you have to get and study it. Because on page 236, they broke down the nefarious niggerization of rap music by ushering in NWA and gangster rap. Alright? Notice all the brothers got movie deals, commercial deals, all kind of rewards. Racism and white supremacy have a whole lot of money to pay you to be foolish, brother. I'm serious. But you're destroying your people at the same time. And I'm going to tell you straight up, man. You're going to have to answer for this in a minute. Seriously. Everyone from Flavor on down. How is this brother going to do the Muppets during the day and girls going wild at night? Come on, y'all. These are the gentlemen that are responsible for the West Coast, East Coast rivalry. They're the ones that benefit. Lyle Cohen and Jimmy Iovine. All right? He's over Def Jam. He's over Interscope. All right, a few more slides and we're done. That may be it. It won't let me move it any further. But while we're on this point and the computer's stuck, the N-word. You know, how they cleverly call it the N-word now. But you got to keep in mind, this is not our language. So, you know, we have to change the whole scope of things. We had to stand on the shoulders of our ancestors and our elders, Dr. John Henry Clark, Dr. Ben, and a lot of the elders. We have to stand on their shoulders and correct a lot of the ills in the black community. We have to do it. Notice the word we. Stop relying on other people to do this. My father said it's not what you call, it's what you respond to. I'm going to say that again. So you can say bitch, nigga, hoe all day long. It's what you respond to. But do you respond, sister? Yes. Because as gross as what R. Kelly did, you still flock to his concerts. You still flock to the dance floor when the songs come on. Why? You have no self-control? Let's move on. America love niggas but hate black people. And it's true, because I thought it was about the revolution, Flav. I didn't know it was about anything else. I thought it was about raising the conscious level of our people. And I hate to say it, man, but I gotta tell Chuck and Flav, y'all got me going crazy, dude. One of you is on Air America, and I thought you said radio suckers never play me. But now you on the radio and they playing you, dude. They playing you. They got him sandwiched between a lesbian and whatever, anyway. And then they got Flavor on the TV licking the white woman. You seen Strange Love. Don't act like you ain't seen it. I did a 2-hour lecture, Strange Love. Has Public Enemy lost its flavor? Because like I said earlier, the younger people are looking at Public Enemy through the eyes of flavor.
Yeah.
Their first introduction to Public Enemy, a higher conscious level of hip-hop, is through Flavor Flav's madness. I thought it was about revolution. That's why I sacrificed my life going into prisons, trying to raise your consciousness level. That's why I sacrificed my life being poisoned, being paralyzed from the waist down. That's why I sacrificed my life, ended up with no money and kicked out of the group. That's why I sacrificed my life to go visit AIDS patients and people in prison. What the hell have you done lately? Because I love black people. So I had to tell them, if loving you is wrong, I don't want to be right. I'm serious. Because you see, I'm not in it for the money or for the fame. No, you're not going to give me some cracker and let me live in Dix Hills with a Mercedes Benz and live happily ever after. It's not going to work that way. Oh, I'm sorry for using that term. Cracker is the white person that gave that term its birth by cracking the whip on the slavery plantation. So that's not our word. But I shouldn't be using it in this higher academia, this higher school of learning here at Temple University. But they need to check the temple for real. Seriously. Because I thought it was about the revolution. Revolution. Complete constructive change. Complete constructive conscious change. Are you following me? That's what I thought it was about, Chuck. So when we said can't trust it, no, we can't trust it. So our latest album is called The New World Order. Yes, The New World Order. I played a song from it earlier. We're trying to resurrect the spirit of the Black Panther Party. That's why we dress the S1Ws in Black Panther outfit, because we're ready to go to war. We're ready to go to war for the hearts and minds of our people. Are you following? What about all of this, Chuck and Flav? You understand what I'm saying? I mean, look, this is something that woke up our people, man. Countdown to Armageddon. Don't believe the hype. Terminator X to the edge of panic. Mind terrorists. Louder than a bomb. I know you'll remember She Watched Channel Zero. Night of the Living Baseheads. Rebel Without a Pause. Prophets of Rage. You know, Party for Your Right to Fight. This was the theme music to the revolution. What happened? Are you following me? I don't know. This was the happier days in 1987, where I tried to show the world that, yeah, we need to show examples of strong black men, intelligent, strong black men. These brothers just weren't there just to be there. They had to go through military training, and they had to go through some psychological warfare, so to speak, because they had to learn and know thy enemy. They had to know the enemy. They had to know the art of war. They had to know to deal with on a physical and a spiritual plane, because we knew the war was coming. We were just trying to educate our people. So we called them S1W, security of the first world. We secure the fact that we're first world people and not third world people. We're the mothers and fathers of civilization. Every people came through us. How dare you call us third world people? No, your ass is third world. You just got here a couple of days ago. We are gods having a human experience. I cannot say that enough. But this is your man on the Flavor of Love. We're at the end. I don't know if y'all seen that. I took a picture of this as I was driving to the mall one day. This is ridiculous. How many people seen Farewell Uncle Tom? Or Goodbye Uncle Tom? Doesn't this remind you of that madness? Farewell Uncle Tom is a documentary by a French film crew that showed and documented how they broke us and made us slaves. If you don't have it, call me and I'll get it to you. Alright, let's move forward. This is the end. You can get this book, and it documents all those families and all those people that own the media. Alright, it is no coincidence. Alright, these are the magazines and the stations that they own. They're in cahoots. Alright, if their cousin don't own it, their uncle owns it. The uncle don't own it, or brother-in-law own it. Are you following me? They're ushering the New World Order into existence. You see them in all the black communities now, this whole gentrification thing, moving you out. In a minute, you ain't gonna have no place to live. Serious. Let's move forward. Now this movie right here, done influenced more black rappers than the law alive. They took their name, they took their likeness, they took everything from this movie right here. Psychological warfare. This movie came in the black community, and they will watch this more than they'll listen to Dr. King. Are you following? They watch this more than they do Roots.
That's so true.
This had a devastating effect on black people. Now you go to the mall and they sell the gun with the cigar and the picture in a frame. We got to counteract this madness right here. I do a lecture called Hidden in Plain Sight, where we decode all the hidden meaning and the significance of movies and pull out the hidden meaning. It's called Hidden in Plain Sight. You'd be surprised you sitting in a damn 2-hour movie theater eating damn buttered popcorn. All the psychological damage that they're doing to your mind and the images that they're feeding you subconsciously. You lending them people your mind for 2 hours. So I wrote a song called What Good Is a Bomb, but we're not going to get into that. I followed that with a song called Son of a Bush. The Crew did an album cover which they had to retract it because this came out before September 11th. The FBI came to visit them, so they changed the cover. I told them to stay in their ground, man. Seriously. So Dead Prayers got it right. They said it's bigger than hip-hop. And it is bigger than hip-hop. It's about our survival, brothers and sisters. That's the reason why Michael Kors and Pan Africa and Born Free could see value in a person like me to come to the campus and speak. We need to know this. They're not going to put conscious hip-hop on the radio. No, y'all need to get used to that. You got to go find it now. And it's easy for them to do this because now they got you. Now you operating on their frequency, so it's easy to put up a McDonald's poster that says, McDonald's, nigga, one. Are you following me? Just a little deep science is one of the last 5 slides. Notice the golden arch. I'm going to test y'all real quick. You too, Michael and Pam. Where's the golden arch?
You bending over.
No, where? Where is the golden arch? Where is the arch? St. Louis.
St. Louis.
Who is St. Louis? You got to do your homework, brothers and sisters. The concept of this is they control the whole concept of colonizing the concept of Christ. By colonizing the concept of Christ, any of the prophets, they can feed you anything about them and you'll go for it because they already got your mind hooked up into this. You want to be born again. Not born free, but born again. Alright? So what do? They come down out of the mountains with the tablets. See the 2 tablets? Moses came out of the mountain with? Are you following? Brought to you by the secret society that was headed by who? St. Louis. So they put the arch in St. Louis. And they call it St. Louis. It's easy if you just do a little bit of studying. It's right there. Let's move forward. So McDonald's is buying their way into the song lyrics. What they're actually doing now is to cut through the chase. They're actually coming to rappers and say, since you're a rapper and your album is coming out next month, we're going to buy 4 lines and 4 verses of your songs throughout your album. So we'll take the second verse of the second song on your album and we'll pay you to mention McDonald's. And this is what multinational corporations are doing. So you're hearing Lexus and Cadillac and this, that, and the other.
Right.
And they're paying the rappers off to do this. You've compromised your birthright, Negro. How foolish can you be? We had an oral tradition where we passed on valuable stuff from father to son, from father to son. And now you're selling it down the drain for some trinkets, man. Breadcrumbs that fall from the rich white man's table. Let's move on. Seagram's Gin is in on it. Right? Cool Cigarettes is in on it. Kanye West is in on it with his contract with Pepsi. He also have a jewelry line coming out because he's in the bed with the other people bringing the diamonds over. Let me tell y'all something, man. These people may be cool with y'all. Hem them up in the corner and pull out the record. And the stuff that they're doing behind the scenes to get paid. They selling their soul and everything else, man, for $1. And $1's worth, what, 8 cents now? So now he sells 1 million cans of pimp juice in 3 months. 1 million cans. If you were vibrating on a higher level, activating your higher consciousness, activating your higher chakras, you wouldn't even go for that.
That's right.
Anywhere you see him perform, you hand out rocks and roller skates, and we skate right on up to the front row, and we just, that's a rock concert for real. But we're peaceful people, we can't do that.
So why not?
Being back there.
And did you see him swipe the black woman's butt with the credit card in the video?
Oh.
In tip drill? What? How much more you gonna take, brother? Huh?
I don't understand much.
I'm sounding the war horn, man. How much more you gonna take?
How much?
See, I'm not calling you out. I'm not calling your manhood out. Don't get me wrong. And any black man here, they're talking to you personally. Don't take it personal. It ain't personal. I just want to ask you a question. How much more you gonna take? After you take the picture with the rap artist and he sign your autograph, now what? Say, can I talk to you for a minute, Nelly? This video that you got out, man, disrespecting black women. Can I talk to you about that? We do need to talk to him. But no, the sisters got to stand up, brother. So they stood up on the campus of Spelman University.
Yeah.
And they would not allow the brother to do his concert. Because they said, we're not going to have it. You're going to stop disrespecting black women.
Right.
But why do the sisters got to do it, brother?
That's right.
Brothers, don't be mad at me. I got to say it, man, because I feel it. See, it wakes me up 3:30 in the morning. It's something I can't shake, man. I got to say it because I see it. When am I going to get my next check from? I don't know. But I'm going to take care of that. I got to do my duty to the Supreme Being. I got to do my duty to my people. Are you following me? All right. This is the end of it. I got a beef with my man, Murder Mace. And you can tell him I said so. Once again, my number is 678-557-2919. How in the hell, Mace, you going to sign the G Unit? And he just signed the G Unit. They just put out a record called 300 Shots. You killing gangsters and pimps and hookers and niggas and bitches on the record. And you turn right back around and you end up in the pulpit. You still preaching on Sunday? Now your name is Reverend Murder Mace?
Yep.
Dude, you cannot serve two masters, dude. Exactly. It's either one or the other, Murder Mace.
Exactly.
In a minute, me and about 10 brothers your size, we're going to have to go to Murder Mace's church and talk to him for real.
That's right.
No, for real, dude.
Yes.
That's what it's going to come down to. And we're going to have to pull him in the back and talk to him. No more deceiving our people, man, because you preaching this Jesus thing all on Sunday, and then you turn around, and on Monday morning you talking about you doing this. You killing people on record, dude, on CD. And the young people, man, they not smart enough or intelligent enough to decipher the stuff that's going on in these CDs. They see you in the video, they hear what you say, and they want to be like you, man, because they look up to you. Thank you. Stevie Wonder said, when you believe in things that you don't understand, you suffer. And you do, because you don't understand it. You don't understand the vibration and the frequency that you're bringing out people down to. I want to say this while we're at this point. Sisters, I would advise this. Have sex with no man that's not in the revolution. Let's use that as a strategy to get these brothers in line. If they're not part of the revolution, don't have sex with them. Okay? If you don't have a man and you hard up, I got another solution. Build a relationship from the head down. I'm going to say this again in English. Build your relationship, sisters, from the head down. Start at the crown chakra. Get to know me and what I'm about. Then you move to the next chakra, which is here, the pineal gland. Hence the term, we don't see eye to eye. It's not talking about your physical eye. It's talking about here. We don't connect. We don't see eye to eye. Nah, bruh. I ain't got nothing for you. No, you can't have my phone number. Moving down to the throat chakra. You know how sweet he used to talk to you when he first met you? Said, he don't talk like that no more because you gave it up too soon. He got what he wanted. Now he talking to you all any kind of snazzy kind of way. Are you following me? So you continue to talk pleasant to him. Hopefully you can get that. He can reciprocate that. Moving down to the next chakra, which is the heart chakra. Before you fall in love, sister, he has to get to know you. All those chakras that precede the heart chakra. Moving down to the next chakra, you say the way to the man's heart is through his stomach. Maybe. But what if that don't work? Are you following me? So if he got to know you from the crown chakra to the root chakra, you wouldn't have those problems because by the time you got to the lowest chakras and you ended up intimate with him, he already know you, you already know him, he's part of the struggle, You part of the struggle. We're bringing the black family back together, and we pushing forward. So when a song like Laffy Taffy come out, we ain't got to worry about that because we not part of that parallel universe. This shit hop, are we? Building strong families once again, right or wrong. That's dealing with it from a metaphysical standpoint. And that's all I'm saying. Let's build relationships from the crown chakra to the root chakra. Can we do that? Okay. Oh, Mace also said that the best place to meet chicks is in church. Poor Mace. I want to say this as I close. I love this woman right here. If she taught us nothing else, she taught us stick by your man. Life or death. The Holy Quran teaches us that we never speak of those that came before us as great. Never speak of them as dead. Absolutely. You don't hear Christians saying the late Jesus. Muslims don't say the late Muhammad, do they?
No, not at all.
Okay, you don't speak of our greats as being dead. They're supposed to live on through us, right or wrong.
Yes.
But what happened? Oh, y'all didn't get that. What happened? This is your commercial that goes out throughout the earth system. So when they see you and meet you in foreign countries, especially those countries that don't speak English, when they meet you, this is how they view you. And this is how they go to deal with you. I was in Japan recently, and the gentleman seen me from a distance, and he recognized who I was. Hat twisted, you know, he had the walk going on. I'm like, oh, check this cat out. This cat is a straight up Japanese walking like he from the hood. So as we got closer, guess what he said to me? Hey, my nigga. That's because this commercial goes out throughout the world, and that's how they view you. So when they see you on the dance floor, they want to grind on your butt and all this other kind of madness. Because this is how they view you, sister. Yeah, we got to change this frequency. For real. Seriously. A nation can rise no higher than its woman. Once again, we're operating on a spiritual plane. We bring it down, put it in an art form, and give it a physical existence. Alright? I'm going to skip over these themes. Y'all, this is the madness that's out there. And y'all seen it. Don't play like you haven't seen it. Alright? Thank God for the bootleggers. This man's reign came to an end. Thank God for that. One thing I can give him credit for, when all the white-owned record companies wouldn't sign me for me to put out my albums, he gave me the opportunity to do so. So I guess he served his purpose. You understand what I'm saying? Now, we ain't going to let him off the hook, though. We're still going to bring him to the table of accountability. This is your commercial, sis. This is how they view you. All right? Brought to you by MTV and BET. These are the themes through the videos. All right? And this is how, look, don't get me wrong. This is beautiful. Thank God it's beautiful. It's beautiful. There's nothing wrong with the black woman's body. But when you put these themes behind it, it gets critical, bro. It really, really gets critical. Because there's sisters that's dressed like this in Africa. We don't go around raping them and making rap songs using the drum. You understand what I'm saying? We don't do that. We don't disrespect mother and auntie. She wrote a book and got rich off of it. Ended up marrying a white Jewish guy, Bill Maher. Well, not married him, engaged him. Because you want to sleep your way and have oral sex with every guy in the rap industry, that's on you, sis. But you want to turn around and write a book about it? And you want people to have sympathy for you and feel sorry for you? And she mentioned some of the brothers in the book who was pissed off to the highest of pistivity. Are you following me? So now she sold 1 million copies and she's married to Bill Maher. She's engaged to him. But this is how we present ourselves. Legs wide open for the world to just come in and do what they want to our women. Bro, if this is not, if you're not getting heated, this could be your aunt, man, or your sister, dude. For real. But this Remy Ma is what we got to look forward to in reference to females coming up in hip-hop music. Remy Ma, named after a drink.
Round of applause for Professor Griff. Can you turn on one of those lights? We want to spend maybe 5-7 minutes or so, maybe 10 minutes for questions for Griff. We got to be out of this building by 10:30, so.
In a nutshell, from Dr. Francis Preston. Oh, thank you.
And a brother just made a donation. And one of the things I want to say about this is that.
Seriously. Did you get a card, sis?
I enjoy your music. Thank you so much. And I used to try to sneak up in the LQ to see y'all.
Back in the LQ. All right. All right.
You that brother.
Huh?
You are that brother.
Cut it out, man.
Let me tell you something.
Cut it out,
Seriously,
bro.
when people ask all the time, they like, when we gonna get the next Steve Coakley? When we gonna get the next Khalid? That's you,
Oh,
God.
thank you. Thanks, man. I'm doing
Real,
the best I could do.
man.
This woman called me to death.
Oh.
After you got your word.
I want your phone now.
After you got your word, it's like,
All right, we gotta
okay,
get
yeah.
out of here.
No doubt. And I'm gonna bail with you tomorrow, beloved.
Yes, sir. Peace.
I appreciate that.
I'll need you in a minute. Thank you. My number's on the
I met you at Public Enemy Council. I met you at the Public Enemy Council. All that stuff was going on, and I was like, yo, don't ever change. And you said, I bow for no man.
That's right.
I never forgot that.
For no man.
Love somebody.
Peace. It's Professor Griff. This brother got some jewels for me, but we're gonna get to that in a minute. This is Professor Griff from Public Enemy, and I'm here on Reelblack.com. Check it out, man. Do me a favor. This book, The Atlanta Music Biz RIP, Resource Information Publications. It's gonna be right here. You can probably order from Reelblack.com. We're gonna give them a link so we can link it. It's Professor Griff from Public Enemy. Peace.
We enjoyed it because it was an opportunity to see sexy black women, sexy black men, but overall, it was too much pimps, pushers, and prostitutes.
You know, we have major companies putting their money behind this. And I'm happy about that on one side of the coin. On the other side of the coin, I have a problem with it. Because from my experience, what I noticed is after it got more commercialized, and after it grew and it grew and it grew, the heart and the soul and the culture left.